good evening to everyone watching the live coverage of the 3 hours of Spa here at Simply Race. We're currently starting a 10-minute qualifying session. Each team is restricted just to 3 laps. So the drivers on their out laps at the moment. So we should be seeing some interesting times coming up very soon. Sorry guys, that was my fault there. We actually kept them in practice mode. Now we're on to qualifying. We're just about to start a 10-minute qualifying session with 3 lap maximum. So just steering wheel shoot for that was the Rumble Racing go round. So first of 3 laps for most drivers, but it will affect Rumble Racing. They might flat spot the tyres actually, is the best thing to happen. We're just waiting for the drivers to come around and start their first flying lap. See a bit of a drying circuit with a bit of rain in practice. We're expecting rain about a quarter of an hour into the race. That's something for the drivers to account for. Obviously a lot of these teams now preparing for the Simply Race 24-hour race, which is starting it's the 5th and 6th of November. So the same cars, but on the Interlagos circuit, so Brazilian Grand Prix track. Good practice for the teams, get used to the endurance format, tyre wear, and fuel consumption, strategy, what to do when it rains, what to do when it rains. Good news is that we had some problems in the last 24-hour race with night time running. This is now sorted, so we'll be running into night this session. we're now starting some of the lap times come up. Purple helmets go into provisional pole position there. The 2:21.328. Second place Rambo Racing. 1.2 seconds behind them. Murphy Motorsport. Just 500ths behind Rambo Racing. And with David and Goliath in fourth. Fast and Hard in fifth. Simply Race down in sixth. NKL 2 in seventh place. And they're waiting for some more laps to come from NKL 1, Barracuda and Operation Oversteer. I don't think we got one from David Goliath. Yes, David place in their Golf Porsche. It's Fast and Hard. Barracuda and 6. Now these are the guys we're waiting for. So NKL 2. They've just posted that time 5.9 seconds on the pace. NK1 have had a few steering wheel issues, but I think they're just about get their lap times. NK1 come across the line to produce a lap time that's 3.7 seconds off the top time by Purple Helmets, and we're just waiting for Operation Oversteer, who are in the pits with damage, I think, so they might not get any laps in.
Attention grid, will all non-essential personnel leave the grid now?
So then, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you very much for joining us this evening for our Simply Race 3-hour endurance race at the Spa F1 circuit. As you can see, the cars are on the grid, and we are about to get underway for 3 hours as the lights should go green now, and we are away. Looks like the Porsche, the Golf Porsche of Callum Cripps has got a good start in the front, looking to probably send it down the inside, but it looks like everyone gets around nice and safe. So Simply Race is currently leading the way. Purple Helmet's very close behind. Muffin Motorsport currently running in third. Harambe Racing in fourth. Fast and Hard in fifth, who I believe we're looking at now in the grey Aston Martin. As we go up Eau Rouge onto the long straight now. So we'll see how we're doing at the front. Simply Race has got a gap, but it looks like the Purple Helmet's car is closing. It's the first corner, looks to the inside to attack, not quite close enough, and tucks in behind. So Simply Race staying in pole position, Purple Helmet's in at third, and Muffin Motorsport, but again Purple Helmet's looking to the inside. Now these drivers have to remember that damage is on 75%, so if they do make contact, it will be bad for them. So we still have Simply Race in first place, Purple Helmet's in second, Muffin Motorsport. There is some contact, I think, in the background. I have heard some words from driving, so it looks like it was NKL 1 and Barracuda suffering at the back there. We'll see if we can get a replay at some point. I have got one of the drivers from Barracuda with me. We have Nathan. Say hello, Nathan.
Hello. Started in second, down in hard lap. A bit of contact earlier on in the lap, and seemed like a pretty poor start from my teammate Grant, which is usually rather good start. It's a 3-hour race.
I was going to say, yeah, you qualified in second, then you were down into 10th there, that's 6 seconds behind. So, but as I say, it's 3 hours and we're only 2 minutes in. Racing the first lap, especially in endurance racing. But I believe we are expecting some rain soon. But back at the front, it looks like Purple Helmets is side by side with. As we're coming into the bus stop, it looks like Purple Helmets takes in, but track limits from those two cars as they come back. I think we may have to watch some replays and give some penalty points there, but definite track limits as we all go. Looks like the Golf Porsche has gone a little bit hairy there onto the inside, but Simply Race moving down 2 positions there as it looks like NKL2 cutting the chicane there. Again, we'll have to watch a replay a bit later on, but Purple Helmets now in the lead with Muffin Motorsport in second, Simply Race in third, as Simply Race goes for a dive down the inside. Slight bit of contact, but there's also contact between Purple Helmets and Muffin Motorsport. But Muffin Motorsport now into first place as we go again up into Eau Rouge, and we're 2 abreast. No, Simply Race is wise to it and pulls in behind Purple Helmets. So we have got Harambe Racing in fourth, just behind. It looks like he's flashing his headlights. Well, both of them flashing their headlights. It is quite annoying when they do that. I did find that out the other night when I crashed because of it. But they've got Harambe Racing, pulls a dummy, moves to the outside into the chicane after the straight, tucks in behind again. As it looks like NKL2 runs slightly wide there, a bit too late on the brakes and loses a couple of positions there, getting swamped by the Aston and the Porsche. So NKL2 they're losing out, dropping down 2 places, but looking down the inside, makes contact with the Porsche. They're going to have to see, hopefully he doesn't cause any damage to himself or the Porsche of Callum Cripps there. I'm sure he won't be too happy, but he looks like he's got a slipstream on the Porsche. He's right behind him now as we come into this very fast section of the track. He looks to the inside, pulls behind. I'd say it's not a very good place to overtake on this circuit. Very fast, but as I say that, the Aston Martin looks to the inside, takes advantage of that move and moves back up into 6th place. Back at the front of the grid, it looks like it's getting a bit close as well. So we've got Purple Helmets still in 2nd place behind Muffin Motorsport, who I believe qualified 2nd. I think it was 4th. Actually, so making a great start there. So staying behind is the Purple Helmets in second place. Moving back, we got Harambe Racing on Simply Race. They look to the outside, they're two abreast as we're coming into the bus stop chicane very shortly. Stay behind, but is he going to look for that move down the inside? Looks like the Aston Martin behind is looking for a move, but everyone stays in single file, which is probably for the best. So a bit further behind, we have NKL1, who's managed to gain another position over Operation Oversteer. Barracuda there after starting in second place, really struggling there in 10th. Nathan next to me not looking too happy about that, but I'm sure when he gets in, he'll put the hammer down and he'll try get those solid laps in. But as we are moving up, so very close still here in the middle, we have David and Goliath in the Golf Porsche there. It's currently David driving at the moment under the name of Callum Cripps. But onto the long straight they go, everyone tucking him behind, everyone with a good distance between them, so it looks like everyone managing to get these first few laps completed without incident, but the Golf looking down the inside there, attacking, doesn't make the move, stays behind, almost a bit of contact there, but as we go into this very tricky second gear hairpin, so hard on the brakes, down the gears.
Okay then, viewers, we've got one of the pods. We've got a little bit of technical issues. I believe something else has just happened on track, but I'm not entirely sure what that could be. So didn't actually see anything. Cool. Okay, so Simply Race has dropped now down to last. That's exactly what happened. I didn't actually see it, so apologies for that. So the order right now is Murphy and Motorsport, which I believe is being driven by Mr. Murphy himself. Purple Helmets are in second, being chased hard by Harambe Racing. Passing hard, David and Goliath, NKL2. All three of those are looking quite close coming into the bus stop chicane. And then it's Operation Oversteer, NKL1, Barracuda and Simply Race, who appear, looking at the times, appear to be all over Barracuda, which is no big surprise.
So apologies for that small delay there, just had to solve a quick issue. While we've been away, my teammate Ben Turner in the Simply Race car absolutely ruined it and put it down into 10th place. I'm not best happy with him, but I'm sure, as again, we have got 3 hours, so I'm sure we can catch back up again. So we're currently looking at Harambe Racing in 3rd place. We're close at the back of the grid between Barracuda and NKL1. And Ben's right behind as well in Simply Race Corvette, so it's getting very close at the back. So let's stick with this group and see what we can see. So currently, as we have a look at the BMW of Barracuda, in the headlights there by the looks of it, but if we go on board, on the bonnet view with Simply Race behind, we'll see what we can do. If you haven't noticed as well, it's starting to go a bit foggy, so the rain should be coming in any moment. Now I think it's roughly about 20 minutes or so in, so we're probably looking at another 10 minutes and then we could start seeing some rain, so drivers will be coming in to change those tyres onto the wets, because trust me, you don't want slicks when it starts raining on this track. It is really slick. So as we go now into this really fast section of course. We have Simply Race who we're on board with. So I'll try and get the details back up. So you can see Barracuda just ahead, 0.2 of a second ahead in 9th place. Just 1/10 in front of them we have NKL1. Again out the front it looks quite spread out, but coming into the chicane very late to the brakes, closing that gap. Hits the apex, other two cars just slightly missing it, gets a great run onto the start-finish straight. Can he capitalise on that? But Barracuda run wide and get that back end stepping out. So Barracuda being demoted to 10th place as we go on board. As you can see, Simply Race moving to the inside there, defending hard. Simply Race, is Barracuda going to go for the cutback? They can't quite make it. It is still quite slick on the outside of these not on the racing line. So Barracuda being demoted down to 10th, Simply Race moving up into 9th place and looking to close that gap on NKO with a great run up into Eau Rouge. So just closest behind, because again Eau Rouge probably not the best place to overtake. But as we go onto this really long straight now, Simply Race car probably looking to go to the inside into the chicane. So again, apologies for that slight pause there. Again, just to do with something else. But we are back now, still on board with Simply Race, currently running in 9th place, just behind NKL1. Looks like we've got a good run, but hitting those brakes again. And NKL again with the track limits running slightly wide there. Again, we'll have to have a look on that one. But if the computer doesn't, give them one, then they don't get one. As we have one car coming into the pits to do their so that's Operation Oversteer, moving down into 9th place, and Simply Race with a great run, moving down the inside up into 7th place. As I try to get a different camera angle, there we go, and we can see that the rain has started, so drivers will be coming in very soon, as we saw there, for the tyre change. But Simply Race opting to stay out for this first lap. We'll see how it gets on for this lap. You see they go down one gear there. As you can see that spit of flame out the back, but I definitely feel that Simply Race will be coming in this lap. So NKL2 there currently running in 6th place on his own. Looks like we have got a battle up ahead. So we got the Fast and Hard and the David and Goliath Porsche. They clout sides there into the beginning of the chicane. I don't know if any teams have sustained any damage, but I'm sure we'll find out from some of the teammates a bit later on. So Fast and Hard getting the best out of that one. We've got Harambe Racing currently running in 3rd place, just behind Purple Helmets. Again, all these cars should be coming into the pit lane any time soon.
Okay then, viewers, obviously right now it looks a bit dull because everyone is in the pits. However, Operation Oversteer and Barracuda opted to take the pit stop on the previous lap, and while everyone was snaking around in the rain, they have hopefully been moving along quite nicely and could possibly get themselves up a couple of positions in the pit stops. It looks like there has definitely been a change for the lead. Purple Helmets are now in the lead, but Harambe Racing are right behind them, with Murphy Motorsport dropping all the way down to third. Operation Overseer have shot up into fourth. That was a great call by them. Barracuda are now moving up as well. We've got Simply Race in fifth. They were in ninth before the pit stop, so they have gained a few positions as well. Barracuda are now up into seventh. I say that because I'm obviously a member of Barracuda, so I'd like to point them out as much as possible. Going into Lecom, Harambe Racing are sticking behind Purple Helmets for the time being, but they are looking very, very racy in these treacherous conditions. David and Goliath are still... they have just come out of the pits. They had a longer pit stop because I believe they had a little bit of damage. It is obviously still Callum Cripps at the wheel. Gaps, it looks quite close between Simple Race in 5th and NKL 1 in 6th. There is only 9/10 of a second between them. But on the feed we are currently still watching this battle for the lead, which hopefully will get just as intense, if not even more intense.
So as we are approaching 20 minutes of the race completed, 2 hours 41 minutes currently remaining. We're looking at Harambe Racing currently running in second place, who are going just up Eau Rouge now. Eau Rouge going much slower this time as the rain is really coming down. As you can see, visibility is very not good in a way, to try and get my words out. But they can still see the first place team of Purple Helmets there just in front. So this race is still very much on after 20 minutes. But again, we've still got plenty of time to go. So currently 4 seconds behind Harambe Racing, we have got Murphy Motorsport for third place. Okay, so apparently Barracuda have received a penalty for spinning. Let's have a look at that. Let's have a look at why they could have got that for spinning. So there we go, as we see, let's go for a quick action replay. So here we go, we're on board on the bonnet view. You can see just should be coming into this corner now. So coming in, this is down 2 gears, braking quite late there, going very wide. It is all 4 wheels off track, and I think there is a reason for that. The cut in the track, he did probably gain an advantage out of the corner. So the computer gives it, so if the computer has given it, the computer has given it. So we'll have to see what we can say to the driver on that one, but that definitely looks like that penalty will stick. As we can see, Harambe Racing has just gone off track. If we can watch a replay on that one, see what happened there. So we're on board Harambe Racing in the very fast section coming around, just running wide there, try to get the best line. Kind of misses the apex, runs very wide there, so yeah, definitely have to keep an eye on that one. But as we go back, we look at the lead for Harambe Racing on purple helmets. Purple helmets still currently leading the way. Looks like there's a very close battle for Simply Race and NKL1. So as you can see, NKL1 there. Just ahead, you can see the Corvette, and it's very close there between Operation Oversteer and Simply Race. So let's have a look at what happens on this one. So coming out the final corner on the bus stop chicane onto the start-finish straight. Moving into the first corner, which is a very tight hairpin. You've got to really watch what you do with the power on this one. Too much power and you are spinning in these conditions. So hopefully they get around nice and safe, which they both do. So now we've got this long run up Eau Rouge onto the long straight. So Simply Race there, not quite managing to get the legs on the Aston there over the straight, but the current driver, Ben Turner, is quite good in this final sector, so hopefully he can claw it back and get us some positions. But after a spin, putting us down to 10th place, he has brought it back, so I can be grateful for something on that one. But as we watch, we have got Purple Helmets still in the lead on lap 8, 9 tenths behind them. We have Harambe Racing, and 6 seconds behind them we have Murphin Motorsport. Operation Oversteer, 22 seconds behind the race leader, and then we have Simply Race, as you can see, they're just behind them. So we're going to stick with this battle and see what we can see. NKL1 there running wide, and just behind. So Simply Race very close behind there, just catching up to the Aston Martin, as I believe we're coming into the bus stop chicane now. First section there. Are we coming into the bus stop chicane? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Just had to double check there. But as we go on board, just behind, very late on the brakes, getting very close behind. Got to be careful on the throttle now. There's, it looks like we're coming into the pit lane. Not sure why we have come into the pit. I'll have to check that out. So I've just found out that our team received a stop-go penalty, so there's another reason for me to be annoyed at Ben Turner, but I can't stay mad at him. He's a good driver, so I'm sure he'll forgive me. Of course, when it comes to my stint, if I do anything wrong, I'm sure it'll be on me like a sack of bricks. But yes, so as we're looking at NKL1 now being promoted up into 5th place, just behind Operation Oversteer, after Simply Race having to come in for their stop-go. So as we look to the front, this is the battle for 1st place. So we have Harambe Racing in 2nd place, currently being driven by Darren Kirk, and the Purple Helmets Aston Martin currently running in 1st place, being run by who's running that one. Looks like Lee Connell who's driving. Yeah, it looks like Lee Connell who's driving. So Lee Connell, who's currently driving the Aston Martin, as the Harambe Racing looks like the back end steps out and they run very wide there. So that is not going to help their advantage to try catch them up for 1st place. as we're just approaching the 30-minute marker. Again, I'm currently the only commentator. We did have Nathan earlier, but I believe he's talking to his spare driver, so I have no commentator. So if we have got any incidents, I have to go deal with it, which is why we're getting all these pauses in the commentary. So I do apologise for that. But as we're still watching Harambe Racing, currently going up Eau Rouge onto the long straight just behind the purple helmets. The gap increasing, decreasing. It's a very close race between these guys, so do have to keep an eye on it. Current lap times from these guys, you're looking at 240s at the front. Purple helmets currently running a 240.3. Harambe Racing running a 240.6. Murphy Motorsport is actually running quite faster. They 240.1, so 0.2 faster there than the leading team. Yeah, definitely have to watch out for that one. But back with all the events, just looking at the last ones, doesn't look like we've had any incidents. Having a couple of drivers go off track. It's very easy to go off track conditions, so not surprised who the drivers are going off. So Purple Helmet's still in the lead, 8/10 behind them. We have Harambe Racing, Murphy Motorsport in third place, 6 seconds behind. Operation Oversteer, 26 seconds behind that, and then 27 seconds behind the Purple Helmet. So just 1 second behind that, we have NKL1, then NKL2. If we go on board with NKL1, as you can see, there's the gap. So quite close there. This is the battle for 4th place. So still anybody's guess. But so just again approaching that half-hour marker. How's it going in your team, Nathan?
Good question. Grant is rather frustrated at the moment. He's given himself a penalty. He claims it was from a spin, but as we saw on the replays, it was corner cutting. And I've just told him to settle down, calm down, and just stay within the white lines. Otherwise, you're going to get even more penalties.
Some sound advice there. Definitely keep it on the track, but it's difficult in these conditions. As again, we see him just running in too hard there. Stays in the white line, so no penalties would have been given there. But again, it just shows you how difficult these conditions are, especially with the amount of powers they got. As I am hearing a scream from Purple Helmets, let's have a look at the replays. We have got Harambe Racing who has taken over, so let's view a replay. As we can see Harambe Racing looking to the outside there, throwing it back in as we're going up Eau Rouge. It looks like he's staying ahead. Sure, maybe that wasn't the replay, maybe it was before that. So I think I know why I have this issue. I'm going to resolve this issue by clicking a button. There we go. Yeah, okay, I've solved the issue. So we're going to have a little time delay, but so we can see the racing. I think these guys are very close behind. So look on the purple helmets, me trying to sort out my things. There we go. So we are back with Harambe Racing and Purple Helmets, who have been swapping positions left, right and centre, but Harambe Racing losing the back end there, breaking a bit late, suffering a bit of that time. It looks like they are staying behind, so let's see if we can try get a replay to work again. Let's have a look there. So the Purple Helmets look like they go off track, and Harambe Racing yeah, so they break way too late, and that gives Harambe Racing to go catch right up, and they do actually take the lead as they go over the start-finish straight, and they close that door on Purple Helmets, and they defend at the inside. Purple Helmets still looking to the inside. They still look to the inside. They're looking down for a run. It's very close. So, crikey, that was close. I'd need a change of shorts after that one, I wouldn't lie, but. There we go. They seem to have all got round safely without causing any hassle to themselves. But we're back live now, watching these two as they're still battling as we're coming into the fast section just before the bus stop chicane. If I'm right, yes, I believe I am. So very close still for first place. So just as we were having a small break there, I was having a look at the comments in the section. So we got Peter N and Radtech having a chat about maybe they should have come tonight. You should have come tonight because it's a great bit of experience for the 24-hour. We're testing all sorts here. We're testing the damage, the weather, testing all sorts. So probably would have been a good idea if you guys came down, but never mind. I'm sure we can do another race anytime soon. As Radtech saying, maybe we could do one at Interlagos. Have to see what the boss Ben says. So if you throw him some money, maybe he will. Maybe he'll listen and he'll sort us out a race. But in the meantime, 2.5 hours remaining of our 3-hour endurance race. I have a team with me once again, so do bear with me. So once again, sorry for that small delay, as we're currently still watching the battle for first place between Rainbow Racing and Purple Helmets. So I try and get the graphics sorted out once again. There we go. So as you can see there, the lap times from the Rainbow Racing currently at 2:21.2. I don't know if that's just their fastest time or if that's their last lap time they've set. If it was the last lap, that's incredibly impressive considering the conditions. I think that was probably their fastest lap, if I go into this one. Yeah, their last lap was a 2:40.9, yeah, so yeah, that would be impressive if they could do that in these conditions. So, but looking down the positions, not looking that close between some of the drivers. Got Simply Race back down in 9th place. Don't know what happened to them, but apparently it was after the penalty. Yeah, that was right. Forgot about that. But there. So we got a few notifications on our system of drivers still going off track. Again, it is expected, but they have got to watch it because penalties can be given if they feel like they've gained an advantage. And it looks like every time they go into that corner, Harambe Racing lose the back end, which is probably why they're slowly losing that gap. So definitely have to keep an eye on that. It looks like that very tricky second hairpin, and it looks like yes, we have got some guys going for a overtake. So if we go back to live and look at these guys. Yes, we are very close. So, yes, we've got Operation Oversteer currently in 4th place, which is the Aston Martin just ahead, with NKL2 just behind. So if we go on board with NKL2, if I figure out my buttons again, as you can see there, so very close behind. They're getting a good run into this fast session. Having a look down the inside again, I wouldn't overtake here, and he's offline now, so he may struggle to keep up with the Aston. As you can see, the Aston pulling that gap now. So probably not the best idea from NKL2 there to just poke their nose in, losing that time. So this is probably a better corner to brake on. Brake it very late, catching that Aston Martin back up. So actually much better from NKL2 there. But again, if they hadn't done that to the first part of that corner, they'd probably been overtaking there. But again, they've learnt that now, and they'll probably input that onto the next lap. But so NKL2 still just behind the Aston. As we're obviously the Aston there, throwing up a lot of spray. We go on board to see what the driver sees. So this is what the driver's seeing right now. So as he looks to the inside, goes to the outside, runs wide, brakes a bit late, goes around the outside. I think track limits are involved there, gaining advantage. So we may have a replay at some point. and we may ask him to give that position back. In fact, let's have a look at that replay. So as we go on board, they look to the outside and they go all four off there, and they go round, and then just for extra comfort they go all four off again. So I think we're going to ask NKL2 to give that position back, and he's already given it back as we go back live there. So good job by that team. So but it looks like he's got a good run out of Eau Rouge. Looks like a slight bit of contact, but Robbie is racing, and he does get side by side, just tucks in again behind. So very close as we go on. We're side by side with the Aston Martin. He's looking to the inside. You don't want to brake too late because you are going to go very wide as he comes down. Does he hold the apex? No, he runs wide. The Aston Martin goes backside, goes slightly wide, but he managed to get the position done there, and that looked much cleaner than his first attempt. So NKL2 moving up into fourth position, and Operation Oversteer, moving down into fifth place, but slightly running wide there. But see if Operation Oversteer can catch back up. It looks like no, the move is done, and that is the end of that. So NKL2 looking to close that gap now between themselves and Urban Motorsport, who currently the gap is 20 odd seconds, so they've got quite a bit of work to do. So we'll definitely see if they can manage that throughout the race. See there, looking at a couple of replays from Team NKL1. They're disputing their penalties that they have been given over track limits, but as you saw there, running wide, if the computer's given it to you, it's given it to you. If you've gained an advantage from it, you know, that's that. So we've got another event that's just popped up, Simply Races off track. Oh dear, not good from us. Still currently in 9th place. 1 minute 34 seconds down. Harambe Racing losing that gap, now down to 3.2 seconds from the race leaders. So Harambe Racing definitely struggling there. Fast and Hard have now moved up into 6th past NKL1. So if we have a look at that replay, moves to the inside, bit of contact. May have to watch that one again and see what you guys think of it. So let's have a look. We have a replay. Comes in quite a distance behind. Comes on the brakes just a fraction later. I'm not sure, you know. No, it looks like he just hasn't got half a car width or half a car length beside him, and does cause contact from that. See if we get it from a different angle. This is not a very true to life angle, so but no, it just looks like he gets the cutting in there. So not sure. We'll have to see what other drivers think of that. If anyone disputes it, if no one disputes it, I shall leave it as it is. But they haven't disputed it, and they're still going round. So if they're happy with the overtake, then I think we should go for it, as both teams slightly running wide there. So looking at the other teams, lap times getting slower actually. So that could be the wet tyres are slightly running off. So yeah, times coming up now, so laps before, you were looking at 2:40s with some of the quick times. Fast and Hard is still putting in those lap times, actually. The last lap from Fast and Hard was a 2:40.9. Which is probably why they're moving up into 6th place, gaining that position there. The other teams still struggling. Some 2:41s, 2:43s from Murphy Motorsport, who were running 2:40s. But I say that, Purple Helmets have just come back with a 2:40.6, so maybe it isn't tyres, as I'm seeing more notifications of Simply Race going off track. So definitely not good. I've got a lot of work ahead of me for that final sector from 9th place. But as NKL1 come into the pits, so if we go on board, let's have a look at this pit stop. Actually, let's see what's going to go on here. So it's going in. Is it going for the tyres? Yeah, it looks like it's lifting the front up. So tyres will be going on that car. So tyres are the way forward then for NKL1, or maybe not. Actually, that was a very quick pit stop. That may have only just been fuel. So that may be a top up of fuel, as it looks like the back bumper of that car is actually missing. So don't know if that was due to that contact that we saw earlier. If so, that was only a very light contact. If that took the bumper off, I'd be very impressed. But it does look like it. But let's have a look at some of the other drivers. So let's have a look at Barracuda, currently running in 10th after starting in 2nd. So again, very unfortunate for them. Still on a recovery drive. So Simply Race just ahead of them. I say just ahead of them, about a minute ahead of them. So it's quite a long track here at Spa, especially in these conditions. Purple Helmets may look to lap fairly soon, actually. They're probably only about 10 or so seconds behind at this rate. But as I bring my settings back up again, so as you see, Simply Race there in the white Corvette, currently running in 9th. David and Goliath in the Golf-coloured Porsche. Currently at the end of the straight, so they're not too far ahead of Simply Race. So any mistakes from, I think it's still Callum Cripps driving, but Callum Cripps has got his driver's face on. He looks very determined behind the wheel there, but he probably won't make a mistake. As we go up to NKL1 after just pitting for fuel, I believe it was, but as they're coming now into this fast corner. Just ahead of them we have Fast and Hard in the Aston Martin, currently running in 6th place. Slightly wide there, almost touching the gravel. Definitely don't want to touch that because that will suck you in and pull you onto the gravel, so definitely avoid that one. Operation Oversteer currently running in 5th place in the other Aston Martin. Then we have NKL2 currently running in 4th place after turning up late and only getting about 5 minutes worth of practice in, but still managing to put in an impressive statement here on the circuit. Murphy Motorsport there in 3rd place, just going around the first corner up into Eau Rouge now, and then we have Harambe Racing, who has also just gone around the first corner up now into Eau Rouge, hits that first apex, dab of the brakes, probably down a gear or so in these conditions, and then back on that power onto the start-finish straight. And then Purple Helmets, who are on the straight, looks like they're just coming into the braking zone now after it, and you can see the headlights there of Harambe Racing in the background. So NKL1 there have just been told that that wasn't fuel or tyres, it was actually a stop-go penalty. So they actually came in because of that corner cutting. He's got quite a few notifications that's just come up, and I've broken something. So no, I haven't. So a couple of things. We've got Harambe Racing has gone off track, also Murphy Motorsport has also gone off track, and NKL2 that also went off track. But other than that, it all seems to be drivers just going wide and off the track. So no actual overtakes going on. So it looks like the gap between NKL2 2, and Murphy Motorsport has decreased massively, and they're not too far behind, so you can't quite see Murphy Motorsport just yet. If we go up and see how far they are, so there we go. So there's Murphy Motorsport just going into this tight one on the fast section into the bus stop chicane, and Murphy Motorsport again, or NKL2, sorry, just behind, about to go into that section. So they are not that far behind, so that gap is definitely decreasing. Definitely have to watch what they are doing throughout the race. So the gap between Harambe Racing and Purple Helmets is still going down. It's now 8.2 seconds, so Harambe Racing definitely struggling there. And Murphy Motorsport is slightly closing that gap. So as you can just see there, the black and yellow BMW Z4 just in the distance there. Just see it going up Eau Rouge. The Aston Martin just very close behind. So let's go on board with the Aston Martin. Let's go bonnet view. See what we can see from it. So coming down this long straight now, you get up to about 150 miles an hour or so, depending on the conditions. I think these guys may be able to touch about 145 or so. But quite late braking, you can brake much, or quite early braking, so you can brake much later than that when obviously the conditions are dry. Coming around, it's very slow. Third gear section, got to really watch what you're doing with the power, because you don't want to lose the back end running onto that run-off bit there. So again, down the gears into second gear, keeping it nice and tight. Don't want to run wide, so if you run wide, again, it just sucks you out and you could spin. Coming down back into third gear, or in these conditions, maybe drivers are running down into second, slightly running wide there, but I don't think the computer acknowledged it. I don't think it was just that far off. So now coming to this fast section, so again huffing, and there's a car off in the background there. Can't see who that was. That looks like Blue Barracuda with a spin. So let's go on board with Blue Barracuda there and see what happens. So coming into the corner, loses the back end, and yet just a classic spin. And you see the Purple Helmets car just go past there. Looks slightly like he stalled it, even though you can't actually stall it on these. So and it's just and there's Harambe Racing running wide and almost caused another collision there. So and there's the car we were watching. So the battle then is going to be definitely be hotting up between Murphy Motorsports and Harambe Racing. So again, sorting the graphics. There we go. Running wide there, and I think, yes, he did count that one, so he may have got a penalty on that one, but down the gears again. Second gear, first gear, some guys can't choose, but I like to go first gear through there, because I just feel like I get a much better exit out of it, and get those revs up when you change gear. So again, across the start-finish line, into this very tight hairpin, and again, some drivers like to go second gear, some guys like to go first. If it was the conditions, I'd probably be going second gear, so that back end doesn't right up, spin the car. The rain is clearing. I can see a bit of blue sky, but it won't be blue for long because it is getting to night time, as we have 2 hours and 9 minutes exactly remaining. Down this long straight, see if there's any other battles that are currently going ahead. It looks quite close between Operation Oversteer and Fast and Hard. You just see the Fast and Hard car there in the distance. It's about to go up Eau Rouge. There you go, you just saw the back of it there. Got some more events, and we've got NKL1 going off track, so again, maybe get some more penalties there. As I believe we may start seeing a dry line appear very soon. Hopefully, I hope there's a dry line coming in, because I much prefer it when it's dry. I'm not a man who likes a wet track. I tend to spin twice a bit. So hopefully there's a nice dry line on that track by the time I get out there. It's So, we are currently looking at Operation Oversteer in the white Aston Martin, who are currently just behind Fast and Hard, who are running in the black Aston Martin, I believe. Yep, there we go. So, still in 5th place. NKL2 currently running in 4th, looking at closing that gap to Murphy Motorsport, which they have now. It's as you can just see, Murphy Motorsport there. Oh no, sorry, that's we're on board with Murphy Motorsport, and that's Harambe Racing who they're catching up to. So the battle for 2nd place is getting very close. So definitely stick around and watch what's about to go on now as we look at some more notifications that are coming up on our event. And it looks like a few more teams are running off wide. So penalties may be being given out. So Radtech there with a comment. When is the rain predicted to slow or stop? As you can see, it already has stopped. So now, basically. So that dry line hopefully should be coming in as these guys stay on that racing line. You could see the dry line in qualifying if we were watching qualifying. I don't think we were actually, no. So, but there was a very clear dry line in qualifying. So we will start to see that come up very soon. No, it's not going to turn into snow. I did ask Ben that earlier, can we have snow on our Factor 2? But he also said no. So, no, I don't... no, it's not going to snow. But as you can see there, the clouds are clearing if you're looking at the sky. A few clouds off in the background, but the clouds are clearing, and it is getting very dark now. So those headlights are coming in. And it's going to be very difficult to see where you're going as we have a few more events just pop up. And the 2 Barracuda spinning around. They've got quite a few spins. So let's have a look and see what happened to 2 Barracuda. But I believe they may have crashed and done that. Right, okay. Right, so they did have a crash. Oh yeah, you can see the damage on the car. But let's quickly sort those guys. There's the replay coming up over Rouge. Looks like he just runs wide, loses the back end into the barrier. Oh, and some heavy damage there, and there is a lot of damage. The rear wing's gone, everything's gone, so I'm going to try to sort these guys out so they can get back into the pit lane. So if we go on board with Barracuda, who, as you can see there, the heavy damage, and they're really struggling to get round the track, but they are going to be coming into the pit lane now to fix their car, and they're going to swap drivers as well. So Grant Lyman, who's currently driving, is going to come out of the car, and Nathan Burton is going to take over for Team Barracuda. Just as we go back there, let's see if we can see another replay of that. So there we go. Let's see what happens from another angle. So we'll go on the bonnet view as they come up over Rouge, going wide. Looks like, yeah, they just lose that back end, hits the barrier, and the bodywork comes off. That is going to have knackered the suspension and everything. They're lucky a wheel didn't come off. If I'm honest, I'm very surprised the wheel didn't come off. But as you can see there, the tracking has completely gone. Very unfortunate for Barracuda, who's having a terrible race at the moment after starting in 2nd place, down in dead last, and with a heavily damaged car, who are now entering the pit lane. So very unfortunate there for Barracuda. But NKL1 is now in 7th place after overtaking Operation Oversteer. So if we have a quick look at that replay, see what happened there. So Operation Oversteer. So it's like quite a few drivers have change positions at this point, actually. But let's go back to live, as we can see a few cars in the pits. Right, so fast forward as well. Well, that was a rewind. So try sorting out, because you've got to get replays, you've got to kind of rewind it, so you get a bit of a time delay. But if we go back to live, and we shall go on. We will go on Harambe Racing and NKL2, both running in the BMW Z4s, are very close now. As the rain has definitely stopped, as we're literally just approaching 2 hour. As I was just talking to Barracuda, who have currently got 12 minutes worth of repairs, so very unfortunate for them. Harambe Racing has moved down into 4th place, and NKL2 has moved up into 3rd place. So I missed that, so I want to look at a replay. Don't know about you guys, but I do fancy a replay. So as you can see there, coming in, so on the brakes, it did look like they braked just that tad too late. And yeah, as you can see them run wide. And NKL2 say thank you very much and move up into 4th place. As Harambe Racing has gone off, and a lot of damage on the front of there. So what happened there? So let's have a look at the replay. So we're coming up O'Roos. O'Roos, again, the tricky one. Hits that apex, bang on, gets back to the bam, a little bit of curve, runs wide, but it is identical to what Barracuda did. Absolutely identical. So they're going to have a lot of damage. So they're going to have to nurse that car back to the pit lane. Again, lucky they didn't lose a wheel. I'm surprised, because the damage is on 75%, so losing a wheel can very easily happen. But it looks like their tracking's fared a bit better, actually. So So again, yes, as we can still see, Harambe Racing, after having battling in 2nd place for such a long time, have really lost out there and are currently going down the position. They're still running in 4th place, but it looks like they're going to have to come in for a repair. Still in 4th place, fast and hard, catching massively. You can just see them there. So there is the damaged Z4 of Harambe Racing, nursing their way back around the track, and the fully functional Aston Martin of Fast and Hard is catching up very fast. Again, I'll try and sort out my screen graphics. They always like to disappear when you change the view. So there we go with 5th place. They are right behind now. As we go on board the Bonnet view. It is for position, so Harambe Racing don't have to yield for that one. But I think with the car in that condition, I think it's probably best if they did. So hitting the thing as Harambe Racing, yep, they come into the pit lane to repair that car. So Fast and Hard moving up into 4th place. And David and Goliath in 6th place, who are running in the Gold Aston Martin, the Porsche, sorry. It's been a long day, but currently entering the bus stop chicane now, as we are now past the 2 hour mark with 1 hour 58 minutes remaining. So as they go through the bus stop chicane successfully, they are going to move up into 5th place, as Harambe Racing are currently repairing their car in the pits. And there we go, moving up into 5th place. I believe NKL1 there just got passed as well, so NKL1 moving up into 6th, Harambe Racing moving down into 7th. So, on the other side of the venue, I don't know if you can still hear me. Hopefully you can. It should pick it up from this distance. But I'm with Barracuda driver Grant Lyman, who, as we saw there, crashed the Barracuda Z4. Grant, talk us through what happened.
Basically, I tried pushing a little bit too hard going into Eau Rouge, trying to make up for all the lost time after the penalty. Just pushed a bit too hard, got the rear end out, and from there wasn't really anything I could do. Slammed on the brakes, but still went straight into the barrier.
Yeah, no, it did look very slippy there at Eau Rouge. Got quite a bit of suspension damage. So I'm surprised you didn't lose a wheel, actually. Are you surprised about that?
Yeah, we've got about 7 minutes left to prepare.
Well, I tell you what, it's much better than being out the race. 7 minutes over completely out the race. You've still got time. Harambe Racing also did exactly the same move you did. They're also stuck in the pit lane, so they are right next to you, and you're going to get away first. So you have gained a position after your crash. So you look happy about that one. But we'll get back to the now. Otherwise, I'm slightly skiving a bit here, moving away. But let's go around. It's very dark in the venue now. The driver's one of the lights off. I don't know why. So it's really dark in here. I can barely see where I'm walking. But as I'm currently behind pod number 15, which is currently running in 15th place, which is 15th place. Yeah, there's only 10 cars racing. You can't run in 15th place. But currently best time of A2:22. That would have been done on the first few laps of the race. Because it was dry then, and it's now wet now. Still yet to do your driver change? Yes. When are you planning on doing your driver change?
Hoping to get the halfway and then see how we get on, but we might have to put slicks on sooner than that. So.
Okay, so yeah, I've not seen a dry line appearing yet, but you have to keep an eye out. There may be a very thin dry line first, and then it will get wider and things like that. So you may still need the wets on for that one, but yeah, it all depends how worn the wets are. You can see how worn they are. There's a yellow over there. What's that? Purple helmets, who are currently running in first place, but controversy. Their tyres are yellow. They need new tyres, and it's coming up to the driver swap soon. So are they going to do tyres and driver swap at the same time? Right, as we look back. So you are looking at pits. I didn't realise. So let's see what we can do about that. Let's click back onto here and let's look at Operation Oversteer, who's currently running in 8th place. Simply Race currently running in 7th place. Then we have NKL1 in 6th, David and Goliath in 5th, fast and hard there, and this looks like quite a close battle here. So we have NKL2, we haven't even got a third one, with Murphy Motorsport currently running in 2nd place, and I think ahead we just saw the purple helmet, so this battle for first place, well, it's currently a battle for 2nd place, but we have 1st, 2nd and 3rd very close together, all within 6 seconds of each other. So as Murphy Motorsport runs wide, they definitely gained an advantage from that one, as NK2 flashes the headlights. Obviously, Murphy Motorsport will be getting a corner cutting mark for that, because they definitely have gained an advantage from it. But as we go onto the long straight, the flash in the headlights from NKL2 saying, let me pass, even though it doesn't have to let him pass, it is still for position. So as it stands, here we go. Murphy Motorsport taking the defensive line, moves back across. NKL2 now right behind as they come into this chicane. Slightly goes wide, losing some of that time. If we go on board with NKL2, see how they see it. So coming into this chicane again, flashing those headlights, warning that they are behind and they are faster. So Murphy Motorsport there really struggling in second place, and NKL2 pounding on that pressure. Back as Murphy Motorsport run wide. Again, NKL2 probably learning from their mistake, not looking down the inside here, but they do it again on the brakes early, try not to cause contact, and they gain quite a bit of time there, very close behind. And all they can see there is the spray of that Aston Martin kicking up there into their faces. Again, flashing those headlights. Back down the gears into about third gear for this one. Slightly running wide from NKL2, losing some of that time there. So focusing on flashing those headlights and not where the braking. So really struggling there. As we have got 3 drivers in the pit. Operation Oversteer is also in the pits. I don't know if they have a crash at some point. Operation Oversteer, it's just a lot of off tracks, but no spins or crashes, anything like that. So we've got Papa Helmets also on the track. Let's have a look at what Papa Helmets has been doing. So apologies for that gap there in the commentary. Just had to sort out one of the teams. What had happened is that Operation Oversteer had crashed the car, completely wrecked it, came back to the pit lane, but when they did their pit stop, they served a penalty first and it didn't repair the car, and they physically couldn't get back around the track because the car was so damaged. So what's had to happen is that we've had to take them off the race, bring them back in. We've put them back on some brand new tyres, and they've got a full tank of fuel again, but they have got a 3-minute time penalty stuck in the pits. So those guys there will be suffering. So if we have a quick look, hopefully they're still in the pit lane. Yeah, as you can see, they are still there in the pits. As we go on board with some other drivers, let's look at Harambe Racing and NKL2. I think that team's roughly got about 1 minute remaining left in the pit lane, and then we'll get them going. The Harambe Racing car still with a bit of front end damage there, as you can see there, that front bumper missing, but all good. But we will be changing drivers soon on our team, so you will be losing myself, and Ben Turner will be taking over fairly shortly. I'm going to go up and see Ben Turner now and see what pit strategies he is thinking. So again, guys, sorry for the lack of commentary just there. We have been struggling with some of the cars with damage, things like that. People were failing to repair the cars. There's a few things that could happen. They could have a penalty like that, and if they have selected to not serve the penalty, then they'll serve the penalty first and things like that. And it's all very complicated. So we're just having to sort out some of those issues. But as just type some double entendre into the computer. I will be driving soon, so you'll be losing me, and you will have Ben. Hopefully Ben does an excellent job at commentating as I have. Hopefully you have enjoyed it. But as we see, the Harambe Racing car currently running in 8th place. The Simply Race is actually running in 5th, I didn't know that. With 3 minutes 49 seconds down, but there is still an hour and a half remaining, and anything could happen. And you can also see a dry line appearing. But there is a chance of 50% rain at the end of this race, so anything could happen. But I think the conditions, what we're on now, I think are still wet conditions. I am not too sure. I will have to talk to my driver as he calls me over now. Okay then, drivers, so I'm about to take over in the car. We've got to repair the damage, so hopefully we can get all that. And select it as well. I don't want to leave with all damage on the car. It'd be horrendous. So wish me luck, and we shall get you going.
So it's been fresh for a stint. And I only spun. No, I spun twice. Oh, okay. Apparently Anthony's been amusing me whilst whilst this has been happening. I did spin at the start, and that was. You saw what happened, though, Anthony. It was my fault, but the Ashton car half spun in front of me. Did you not see that? Okay, the Ashton car was like 30 degrees. 30 degrees from the barrier, and I kind of panicked and overcorrected. So that happened, and then I got a stop-and-go penalty, which I don't think was very fair. It was longer than it should have been, so it was 40 seconds and 10 seconds. I don't understand why it gave us that. So it's affected us on the other teams. Should be right at the back. I think the pace was quite good until I crashed myself in the headphones off talking to one of the other teams into Rouge, and then we're now in the pits going backwards damage. But we are trying some different strategy now. We're going on hard tyres, and we're hoping to make the tyres last until the end of the race. With an hour and a half left. So we're going to smash tons of fuel. The reason being we're trying to do that is the tyres are taking longer to change than refueling does. So that's the plan. Anyway, we might not work, but it was quite interesting out there. So, hour and a half left. That was a really tough stint. It's really hard in the wet to kind of keep your concentration. I also tried experimenting with traction control settings, and you kind of really need to make sure you have got some traction control in the wet conditions. Be interesting to see how my teammate gets on in a minute. We're there you go. There's us in the pit lane. You can see I kind of slightly destroyed the car, so the front end and lots of suspension damage, but we're going out in slicks, and there is a slightly slightly dry line on the track now as we go into darkness. You can see track looking, there you go, there's quite a clear place that you can see the line here in the dry line. It was quite cool to get faster and faster each lap as the track dried up as well. One of the really cool things about the physics in this simulation. Oh, so that's Fast and Hard, number 7. Lots of damage there. That's a bit of a spin, and they're going to be quite damaged, that car now. 5th place, so quite a strong performance so far for that team, an hour and a half into the race. That was just a mistake by the looks of things. I wonder if we can just get a replay. So coming through P1. Quite difficult P1 at this time of night. It's really hard to see the drier line on the circuit. The only thing is we will be going right a little bit around there. Oh, so that's probably watch that from a different angle. So he comes through P1. It's on the wrong angle. Comes for Puon. Gets a little bit wide. Comes back on the circuit. Goes wide again. Gets on the white lines. Smashed the turf there on the outside as well. As he comes back on the circuit, a little bit too aggressive, and then a big overcorrection, and there goes the bonnet, most of the front end, and lots of damage there. Meanwhile, assistant team, Operation Oversteer, they've gone off track somewhere. So up Eau Rouge. Oh, okay, so they've just cut the inside of Eau Rouge there. And I imagine they would have got a penalty, or at least a very stern warning for that. So fast and hard then into the pits for some damage repairs. I think that's the second time. No, maybe it was a different team last time, but I'm sure they won't be too happy with that. They were doing quite well so far. I think we're back out on circuit, so Team Simply Race now back out in 7th position, 2 laps off the race win. Race lead, sorry. So Murphy Motorsport, though, are leading the race at the moment. I think Will Murphy himself is off. And now we have Adam Cater in the Aston, the red and yellow Aston. Oh, off track, only a little bit there. That was just a replay. And Harambe Racing going off the track as well. This is Puon, and I think it's just all we're going to see is them go slightly wide on the exit. Unless something else more exciting happens. No, so go back to the live feed. Murphy Motorsport lead by 32 seconds ahead of Purple Helmets. David and Goliath are in 3rd place. Was trying to keep up with those guys during the wet stint, and Callum Cripps, who was driving at the time, was incredibly fast. And I think we have now got. We got a different driver in now? Yes, we have. We've got Mike Scott in the David and Goliath team. So, now that means so that pit. So NKL1 are now into 4th place, and they were having a nice stint as well. Very consistent, staying on the circuit. A few mistakes here and there. You can see from timing, just slightly catch him up and then dropping back again. So NKL1 on a good stint at the moment. Not sure what tyres they've got on. We'll try and find out who's on what at the moment. Some people are taking a gamble. Let's see what the lap times are like. Well, our last lap time was a 9-minute one, so we're not breaking any records. Maybe we've got Murphy Motorsport with a 2:35.042 as the last on the fastest drivers in the last lap, and that's a little half spin from David Goliath. It's Mike Scott behind the wheel of that, and then 3rd place at the moment. Wonder if they're on slicks. Let's try and find out. Callum Cripps. Callum, come over here. Callum, just wondering, you had a really good stint. In the wet. I probably don't want to touch the back of my it's very sweaty. No. But yeah, you were very quick in the wet. I couldn't keep it. I lost about 30 seconds to you, or 20 seconds to you in the wet. What tyres are you guys on now?
We're on S7s.
So S7, so that's the soft tyre. So it's obviously Goodger Scott's finding it difficult there because he's looking for a gap to come back on, and Callum Cripps isn't too happy. He's going to give him a pep talk. We've lost Callum for a second now. So on slicks, S7. So actually, I know these guys have lost the front bumper as well, so that's going to affect their front downforce, making it a little bit more difficult to turn into those corners.
I believe most people on intermediate, so we don't have to make that extra stop when it dries, but it's taking
Yeah, but you are also going to have to. They're on wet, so Murphy Motorsport, I'm hearing, are on wet tyres. They're under racing on inters, so those are the 2 quickest drivers on the circuit. Oh, NKL2 just done a 2:34.1, which is a decent lap time as well. In fact, that is the quickest lap. What are you guys? What was NKL2? You're NKL1. NKL2 are on wets. Okay, so obviously probably some of us have jumped the gun a little bit here and gone for wets Sorry, gone for slicks a little bit too early. You can only just see a dry line. It was a bit ambitious. Team Harambe Racing obviously went for slicks when there wasn't even any dry line at all. So I think they took a bit of a gamble. But interesting to see in a second, we've got Simply Race on S8, so that's the harder, also medium compound of slick tyres. Be interesting to see what time they come through. It looks like they're struggling to keep it in a straight line, to be honest. So whilst we talk about Anthony, we were watching him over his shoulder just a second ago, and he was struggling to go around the corners, go in the straights. Having Goliath dropped down to 4th, because he were in 3rd a second ago. Callum's
humiliated at the start.
So what happened at the start for you? Because I was racing.
We had a bit of problem with just maintaining track position, to be honest. So that was a bit of down. We're still getting up there now. So we had a really good stint when it was wet. So as soon as the rain came, switched onto wets, and from there it's just had a really good stint. Just kept on going. As we see, my car go a bit wide, and the Aston overtakes us. But yeah, the reason we're called David and Goliath, if you haven't noticed, well, I don't know what the David's all about, but Goliath is because Matt Good-Scott is a good 6'7", 6'8" tall, probably, and I'm the best part 5'6". I'll be generous. Oh, it's weak. Keep going, Matt. Keep going. So yes, that's why we're David and BMW. Of, is it Harambe Racing, which is it Gorilla? Wow. Oh, that's a shame. Well, a tribute to Harambe.
Yeah. We'll share the. I think we've got another mic. That's the wrong mic. I'll find you another one in a second. But we've got some questions from yeah, we've got some people asking questions on the stream. So Radtech asking what kind of physics changes were made and what were adjusted in the car. So basically, it's mainly a tyres update. The slicks, they basically go a little bit longer, the slick tyres, to be more in line with. Oh, a slight rub with David and Goliath, and that was Team Harambe Racing. And we've got a pep talk from my colleague. He's back. Callum Cripps is back. He's just giving you a pep talk to David and Goliath Racing. Anyway, yeah. So the tyres are slightly different. So they are lasting slightly longer. So you can be on the right confident double stint the tyres to be more in tune with World Endurance Championship. And the wets in the previous iteration of these cars, the wets weren't really any more effective than the slicks in the wet weather, and now they are, as you can see by the lap times on the screen. Just an update on our team, which is rubbish. You guys are sticking with it, but Anthony's decided that he's not good enough driver to stay on the dry line, so he needs to have wet tyres, so he's pitted again. So we've raced another sort of 2 or 3 minutes there. But there you go. It's still a long time to go. 1 hour and 20 minutes left. Some flashing lights. And who's that going past? That's U Barracuda. U Barracuda looking to make a move. U Barracuda are. Let's just find out. They're actually going. They're lapping quite quickly. 2:37.2, which is one of the quicker teams. But they are 5 laps down on the leaders. The other question was might be out. How long are the fuel tanks lasting? About an hour, but it's slightly longer in the wet, isn't it? I think I'm only last about an hour and 20, an hour and 20.
Yeah, I can't. Well, when we came in for slicks, I'm trying to remember what time it was. 15 minutes into the race, and I went full 90 litres and lasted until an hour and a half left, so that was now 10. So we were quite minimal on the fuel line as well. We had 1 lap to go. We're probably going to squeeze another lap, but not much more than that. So it's probably me being a bit heavy-footed as well. But yeah, way over an hour, most definitely.
Yeah, I mean, Callum's very quick in those conditions anyway. So, I mean, what are you hoping to achieve in this David and Goliath? Are you just hoping that the track becomes grippier really, really soon and the wet tyres start coming off? Because at the moment, the guys on the wets are definitely having a better time on the circuit.
Yeah, definitely. I think now looking at it, I mean, May should have gone to Inter's, it still hasn't arrived. After my stint came in, it's going up on Rouge, you can see quite a bit that's really dark. I didn't see that now, and I thought, yeah, it's pretty much time for rise. I thought maybe we should have just been safe, but then again, other people have got stuff going. We have stuff for an hour, so we'll be in the last fuel. By then, hopefully, it should most definitely be dry. So yeah, I think we've lost out here a bit, but hopefully not too much. We're still in the top 5.
So just have a look at the lap times last time round, see how much time David and Goliath are losing. So last time round, 2 minute 45 with David and Goliath. Everyone else, well, there's some 2:36s in there. 2:40 for the race leaders, Murphy Motorsport. There we have that. Not the best. So 10 seconds a lap is a lot of time. So is it not worth pitting now, or do you think it's going to dry significantly in the next few laps?
Yeah, stick to the plan, keep with it. That's getting used to the track now, so we'll get quicker anyway. So apart from contradiction. But no, he's going alright. He's still on the track, so yeah, it's going alright. Hopefully the track will come to him, and everybody else will start to drop down the order.
Sorry to cut you off. I've just noticed that Murphy Motorsport are no longer in the lead. Let's see if we can find out why that is. So I think Murphy Motorsport are in. That overtake then was just a pit lane thing, and Murphy Motorsport are in the pits. They are back and going now. So let's have a look at the gap. 37 seconds. So Purple Helmets lead by 37 seconds ahead of Murphy Motorsport. NKL 1 are in 3rd, and David Goliath 4th. Then it's a further lap back to 5th. NKL 2. Fast and Hard in 6th place with Simply Race in 7th after our disaster of a race so far. 8th place is Remember Racing. 9th place Operation Oversteer is obviously going quite well if they're down in 9th place. And where are we there? Oh, we missed that Remember Racing. Oh, I didn't. Obviously Operation Oversteer in 9th, and it's Barracuda with a bit of front nose damage in 10th place. So at the moment, Purple Helmets have only done 2 stops, and everyone else has done either 3 or 4. So maybe that's the secret to their success. So I'm just hearing that Purple Helmets are on S8 tyres. So we were just discussing whether that was a bad move, and Purple Helmets are now in the lead and lapping well as well.
S8, yeah, super soft tyre basically. So hello, Sherlock. Is it? No, that's
S6 is super soft. Yeah, it's right. It's Callum's getting a bit confused.
yeah, it's late in the day. Yeah, so the hard tyres. So I suppose if you can get the heat into them, they will last. So yeah, that's really impressive how they've managed to keep on the track, especially when I was out there at the time, it's at the same time as them when they pitted, and I don't know if I think I was first on track on the wets, but they were quite used wets, so they were a bit scrubbed at the front. The rears were actually still green after pretty much an hour of wet races. So
Yeah, so I mean, so basically they've got some temperature in their tyres, and they're able to kind of burn up the drying track, and they're lapping well. I'm imagining they're probably sticking to that one line, otherwise it goes horribly wrong. But they're actually lapping quicker than there's a couple of people who are slightly quicker, but Simply Race around. Well, are we on inters? I don't know. Well, I think we're on wets, but fresh wets for or inters of Simply Race 235.1. Purple helmets 235.4 on the slicks, and they're not going to have to pit again. Whereas we know it's going to be a drying track, at least for the next half an hour or so. There is some rain forecasts towards the end of the race.
you actually would have
But it's already in there. There was a forecast sent out, Callum. You did look at that.
There's a 50-50 chance whether it's going to rain or not. So I'm hoping it doesn't. But it might do. It's endurance racing, so
it is Spa as well. So our race leaders then going around nicely. Murphy Motorsport losing a bit of time at the moment. That was, yeah. Oh yes, sorry. Yes, it was a 3:41. Sorry, that was a pit stop. So imagine they're on slicks now. Okay, so Murphy Motorsport come to slicks. They are 29 seconds. Is that? Am I being slightly wrong? I thought they were 30-something seconds behind. So we'll see in a minute. They're coming into the bus stop now. This is Murphy Motorsport in their outlandish red and yellow Aston Martin. Oh, and Adam Cater goes side. Oh dear. And rejoins him. A bit of a strange place, but he's back on the circuit, and as they come across the line, where he should get an update on how far behind they are. So 31.7. I think that would have been about 28, 29 seconds. Yeah, easily. So it's definitely all about keeping it on that line, though, isn't it? So it's going to be a tough one for these guys to master for the next 1 hour and 11 minutes of our 3-hour endurance race. Radtech, Ben, any chance of another 3 hour before the 24 hour? Probably not, I would say. If we do need to do Imola would be awesome. It was second in the votes, yeah, absolutely. So maybe we would do another one, but I think we'll probably leave it until next year, Imola now. If there's loads of demand for it, then I'm going to say yes. But unless everyone tells me afterwards we really, 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 really want it, then I'm probably going to leave it until 24 hours. We need to start focusing towards the main event at the end of the year. So, who's the movers at the moment? So, I think Simply Race might be under pressure from Harambe Racing soon. This isn't Harambe Racing, but it's fine. It's Harambe Racing. Okay, that's Harambe Racing there. Oh, they're making a move on NKL1, and that's they're actually the third place team, NKL1. They almost touched a little bit there. Harambe's team. Was a nice move.
that was probably a centre
Of the inside. Callum Cripps approves. That's all you need to know about that one. So Team Simply Race just going through Puon and incredibly wide as well. And I remember racing just about to enter Puon, so interesting to see what happens between those two teams. I remember racing from 232.5 last time around Simply Race, 237.6, and I'm pretty sure I was doing that more wet, so Anthony will get some stick later. So just checking. So the quickest guys last time round were well, both NKL2 and Harambe Racing. I know Harambe Racing, who we're following at the moment, are on intermediate tyres, which is interesting. So Harambe Racing are on intermediate tyres, and they're one of the two quickest teams at the moment. They're catching Simply Race at, well, 4 or 5 seconds a lap at the moment. We'll see what lap time Harambe Racing get this time round. They're just about to cross the start finish line now. 2:32.8, and that was including an overtake. So what do you reckon, Callum Cripps? Do you think Anthony Jordan's under pressure?
Yes, most definitely. It's probably the tyre to be on at the moment is the intermediates, as we see. Purple helmets, 2:37 on the last lap, and Will Murphy. As you know, it's Adam Daisy Cater now in the Murphy Motorsport car, doing 2:36.1. So that is definitely off the pace of Harambe Racing. So yeah, it's definitely intermediate. Looks like the tyre to be on, as it does get darker, and we go into the 1 hour and 8 minutes to go. And it's been quite a good 2 hours so far, hasn't it, Ben?
Yeah, it's really challenging. Obviously, you have to be very careful with the damage element of the wet. It's very easy to just lose concentration and go offline. I think it's lots of strategies going on here, which makes it more interesting. I'm just hearing from Team Harambe Racing that they have changed their strategy. Darren Kurt, do you want to tell us more about your strategy?
Well, because I've binned it earlier on. Chris is going to stay out on these inters because he is quickest at the moment, and then I'm going to jump in the car. We've got about 40 litres of fuel left, and since he's 5 seconds a lap quicker than Anthony Jordan, I would imagine him to overtake Anthony Jordan very quickly when Anthony Jordan bins it.
So some insight from the teams there. Team Harambe Racing pretty confident getting 7th place from Simply Race, and I wouldn't bet against them. They are currently lapping a lot quicker. That team. It's interesting to see how much quicker some of the teams are going at the moment. Inters, we already said, are probably the tyre to be on, but to switch to Inters right now will cost you 40 seconds, plus all the time of going really slowly in the pit, so it's going to cost you a minute. Whether it works out in the end, you've got to do some maths really, but it's interesting that Purple Helmets, Upper Motorsport and NKL1, who I think we're all on slicks, we're all lapping slower than some of the teams behind them on the inters and wets. So I don't think they're going to lose too much because the circuit's definitely dry, although rain is potentially forecast with half an hour to go. Race control doesn't know if that's happening or not, so we will see when it happens. It will definitely make it interesting.
So the fastest people at the moment are still Harambe Racing with a 2:30.9 now. So that is quick, and is that Anthony Jordan ahead of Harambe Racing now? So they are closing on very, very quickly. There's 6.5 seconds he took out as he goes a bit wide at the top of Eau Rouge, and maybe getting a bit on that damp line. But there ahead of it is the Corvette, the Simply Race Corvette, and it's 7 seconds a lap. I guess at the end of this lap he's going to be right on him. What do you think, Ben Turner? It's working. Is it not? There we go. So we're having a bit of technical issues. So Ben Turner, what do you think?
Sorry, I'm trying to get a second microphone. We're sharing a microphone here. Yeah, I think almost certainly Anthony Jordan hasn't got the pace to keep ahead of Chris Hardwick. Chris Hardwick is incredibly quick in this BMW around here. He was very quick in the BMW 1 Series when we did a race with the Race Logic guys a few months ago. Nicely keeping to the dry line there. He's really glued into the line. That is Anthony Jordan ahead, and you can see a bit of Harambe. And you can just see the gorilla there in front of us as well on the front bumper of the race to come. So just hearing that potentially Oh, sorry guys. We've got a car in the wall, which is David and Goliath, I think. So, oh, that was okay. He hasn't damaged anything. Well, I thought it was going to be worse than that, Callum.
So did I was kind of looked at. No, but it's alright. It's a harmless spin as long as there's no barrier involved. I'm not too bothered about it. But as we see, Amber Rossi going a bit deep into the bus stop chicane there, but getting away with it, clambering over them sausage curbs, and then Muffin Motorsport are very fast at the moment. 2:32 dead they've just put in, so still 31.3 seconds behind Purple Helmets, and I think NKL has slow lap last time around. I saw them in the 2:40s as Anthony Jordan goes wide in the Simply Race Corvette C7. And there's the gap is narrowing down. That's only, I'd say, 3 seconds now as they climb up Eau Rouge. 5th gear for some, maybe 6th if you're really feeling comfortable with it. And all the way up the Kemmel Straight up to about 150 miles an hour in the wet, or about 160 in the dry, because he gets that. He's cooling down his tyres on the wet part of the circuit, and then switch to the dry to hit the brakes just as the curb starts and chuck it in 3rd gear. Try and get a nice line through there. Try and keep it on the dry line that we've got. Rambles over the curbs and then fires it down into turn 6. And the gap is going down quite considerably now. We've got Purple Helmets doing 2:34 dead. Muffin Motorsport, who's named after Will Muffin, is doing a 2:32, so 2 seconds quicker on that lap than the Purple Helmets team. NKL's behind on 2:37, and then David, Matt Goodger-Scott and David and Goliath doing a 2:56 after that spin last time out. So we still have a lap ahead of NKL2, so hopefully that will give us a good buffer until the end of the race and we can come home in a strong 4th position. But the gap definitely now is closing. We'll show in the cockpit, the lights will be, the cockpit will be more fluorescent. All the goes, Rambo goes wide on 2 wheels onto the goes wide. The Gorilla goes wide, 2 wheels on the gravel, but managed to get away with it and still closing on Anthony Jordan. So we'll try and hopefully see a clean overtake somewhere near as he goes wide through Blanchimont. He's getting very close now, so he's close right up to the back of him as the Corvette comes into the pits. So Ben Turner, do you know what's happening there at all?
I'm going to suggest that probably Anthony Jordan doesn't know what he's doing. But I'm not sure. We'll try and find out what's going on with Anthony Jordan. Let's give him an interview. Bear with us a second, guys. Oh, so Anthony's got some damage. What? Oh, there's still my damage. Okay, fair enough. Why are you in the pits?
Well, I want to change to slicks now because the track is now ready for slicks.
Just to clarify, though, the race leaders were on slicks 10 minutes before you went on slicks on S8s as well.
Rubbish.
Yeah, that's true, and they're doing some of the best laps of the race, so you potentially could have got some more temperature into it. But there you go. So we're now done 8th. Where do you see some of the race finishing at the end of this 3-hour endurance?
5th.
5th. It's very ambitious. You're going to have to be very quick, Anthony. Good luck. So, Team Simply Rain on slick tyres. We are completely out of the running, but be interesting to see how we do on slicks towards the end of the race. There's only 59 minutes remaining of our 3-hour endurance race here at Spa-Francorchamps. Oh, this is Zoo Barracuda. So, although we're not quite sure what's going on with tyre lap times, Purple Helmets are on slicks and they're doing 2:31.2. Murphy Motorsport 2:31.8. They're on slicks as well. Good overtake there from Barracuda to unlap themselves from Team NKL1, who are currently in 3rd place. To be fair, NKL1 they are on now. NKL1 and NKL2 both on wet tyres still. But yes, their lap times are 6 seconds different, so be interesting what's happened to the tyres there, or whether maybe NKL1 are just a little bit off the pace at the moment, or had a couple of incidents. Obviously they've been fighting on circuit, Barracuda and NKL1, maybe that's affected their lap times, but it seems to be a bit of a crossover point now. Slicks are potentially going to be the ones to come on to. Barracuda, who are in 9th place, are on wets. So there's lots of people still on wet tyres. I wouldn't worry about being 5 seconds a lap quicker, Grant. It's Anthony Jordan who's driving at the moment, so lap times are kind of irrelevant. We'll be happy if he doesn't put it in a barrier. Rossi would almost certainly do a worse job, which is saying something. Right. Anyway, moving on. Purple Helmets, it's down to a 30-second lead. That's a 1 second difference. Murphy Motorsport obviously pushing hard. There is the Purple Helmets car. Fear the purple. So they're just going up Eau Rouge, and that's the Corvette behind them. So race. And Murphy Motorsport crossing the line now, so updates to 30.283, so not really any change there. Then 3rd place, this is Team NK, and they've just been overtaken by Barracudas. They've been unlocked themselves. So whether their tyres are at the end of their life, we're not sure. They're on the wets at the moment though. So you're pitting to go into. So Team NKL are pitting to go onto Inters now, not slicks. Why not slicks?
Because we've got a bit of damage, so we think we're going to end up off.
It's a fair gamble. If you're on slick or on Inters, if you don't burn them up towards the end of the race, if there is some more rain coming, it could work out, but. So difference in opinion between Callum Cripps and that team, and well, actually, your team, Callum, are now going to move up into 3rd place.
Yeah, hopefully. I think we might just do it. I don't know what the gap is. The gap was quite large. It was around a minute or so to the car ahead of us. So I don't know if we're going to inherit 3rd place here. We might do. We'll find out as they pull into their pit box. They stopped a bit too early there, and that would have cost them a few seconds or so. You see the front of the cars raised now as they change tyres, even though you can't really see the pit crew at work. But trust me, they are changing things as we see the Porsche coming. Oh, that was a bit of a slippy moment coming through Blanchimont. It's braked to the bus stop chicane, nice and tight. It is now, I think, on the crossover point as well, where the slicks might benefit. But here comes David and Goliath. Are they going to inherit 3rd place? Yes, we are. Woo! So that's good for us now. So NKL are going to go on to intermediates, as we know, as we've been told. And David and Goliath are on slicks. As we see Harambo Racing there, spun through La Source. So we'll try and possibly get a replay of that. So all the time that they were making up has just been thrown away. Let's see the Golf colours of David and Goliath in P3 coming up the Hemel. Is it Hemel? Is it Kemmel straight. As Ben, did you see that Harambe said for a spin a minute ago? I don't think you did. Harambe Racing spun at the source and just lost all the time that they gained, being pretty rapid. So, but they are still ahead of Simply Race. So that just shows how much. What's Anthony Jordan? Oh, so Anthony Jordan has 400 seconds of repairs. That is a shame. That is that is such a shame. What a shame for Anthony Jordan. And it is such a terrible shame for Anthony Jordan. But at least he can tell us all about it. Anthony, what's your opinion?
It's just such a shame, you know. It really is. No, I'm not going to cry. I may shed a tear, but no, just again try to take Eau Rouge, not flat, but faster than I was doing before, and yeah, went the old way, That
is a sad situation. Is it a sad situation then?
I'd say it's a sad situation. Anyway, so the good news is that I'm still the top driver in the company, so that's anyway, moving back to the racing and your comments on the live stream. Volume, please stop. What's wrong with the volume? Tell me if it's me, Callum, the sounds of the car engines, or what. I need to know what's wrong. Lots of people using extra track. Yeah, we've kind of relaxed the rules on the track limits with the wet conditions, purely because it's very difficult to stay on the circuit sometimes. Sometimes you have to just go with it and use that little bit of extra track, and it's fair to kind of leave that be, I think. So good point here from Cameron Cripps. Team NKL1 just on their outlap in 240 on their intermediate tyres, and we know they have got some damage, which is why they went for the inters, because they thought they'd be offline a little bit, and the damage was going to cost them too much time. It doesn't seem like it's working out for them at the moment. Also, Purple Helmets 230.208. They've increased their lead by another 6 tenths. So let's have a look where the lead is now. Lead now 33 seconds for Purple Helmets over Murphy Motorsport. Not a good team actually, Murphy Motorsport. The two drivers were put together at the very last minutes. Adam Daisy Cater and Will Murphy. They've done a very good job so far, I have to say. So very well done to them. Anyway, more questions on the stream. Ben, how do you assign pods for the race? I will assign pods for the 24-hour actually very soon, because we need to start getting skins ready and putting the numbers on the pods. So I will draw them out of a hat, and I will let you know which pod you are. There are no preferences this year. Last time I took some preferences, this time will be all. And I'll do a stream of it as well, like live stream it to prove that I'm fair. A benevolent dictator. Raining again? I don't think so. Not at the moment. Oh, sorry, you're talking about later in the race. Yes, potentially rain in the next half hour. 50-50 chance. So we don't know how hard it's going to rain. We don't know how long it's going to rain for. And that's going to make it exciting, isn't it, Callum?
Yeah, most definitely. It's going to be. Is it going to be light rain or is it going to be heavy rain? We simply don't know. So it might be best to, if you're on intermediates now, which NKL have done, they will be hoping for a bit of rain, but not too much. And again, it's harder when they're still a treaded tyre, whereas everybody else now is on slicks. So it's going to be interesting in the last 49 minutes of this race. So who's behind them? No, it's Purple Helmets. Aston Martin. Is it the 8 advantage, I believe it is. Yeah, they're all 4 litre V8 cars. Apart from the Porsche, that must be a flat 6 4-litre, I imagine. Yeah, they're all GTE spec cars, GT3 in other words, but the Aston flashing the lights down the Kemmel Straight to warn David and Goliath in the golf-coloured Porsche that they are coming at Anthony Jordan. Have you still not got back into your car yet? Have you not? Is it still repairing itself? That's such a shame now as we carry on let's hope that Matt Goodshot doesn't hold up the Aston Martin too much. They're still flashing the lights away, so he'll be getting the blue flags on his pod as he goes wide and lets the Aston go. So well done there to Matt for getting out of the way. Martin cleaning a bit on the curve. He's still cracking away as we have still NKL 1 in P4 and P5 is NKL 2. Fast and Hard Racing just behind them in P6 with Ferrambo Racing now in 7th place. Barracuda are in 8th. There was much speculation in the last 24 hours about how Barracuda was going to be pronounced because it's got a first capital, even though everybody has. I was still thinking that it would be a high pitch and then kind of a low pitch, and then going into a high pitch again for the H of Barracuda. What do you think, Dan? We're talking about the how to pronounce the U in Barracuda, because it could be a flat Barracuda, or it could be a Barracuda. Or what do you think?
Well, I think the only way to talk about Barracuda is to actually sing it. It's like Macarena. It's like Barracuda. That's it. Yeah.
We should stick that definitely for Interlagos when we do it. This hopefully we will have more topics when we bring the 24-hour. But we will have Downforce Racing doing the commentary for that, which I'm extremely excited about. Jake Sanson and all his crew. Was that the purple helmets Aston Martin going wide there? Yes, it was. So what's happened to them is to see the. We'll try and get a replay on that. Ben's on it. And just a bit past that then, I think. And it's also got stop-go penalty for going straight on at the source. I don't think that's completely fair. But so he goes up the inside of the grey Aston Martin as it seems to be letting them through, but they're on slicks, so they got onto the wet part of the circuit and just went straight on. So I think that drive-through penalty is going to be... Oh, and Anthony Jordan spins off at the top of the Kemmel Straight, and hopefully he didn't hit the barriers there, so he's turning around and continuing, as you can see, looking over. So he is continuing on, but that is a setback, another setback for Team Simply Race, who are now in 10th position and last as well. So Anthony Jordan not having a great time there. As you see David and Goliath. It is getting a little bit Is it getting a bit misty? No, I don't think so. I think the rain will come in the last half an hour if it's going to. But we simply don't know when that rain is going to come, if it will come at all. So that David and Goliath machine, the Golf Porsche, still with its front bumper missing, as we don't think it'll be worth pitting to change it, even though you might lose a slight bit of downforce not having a front splitter there. It spins and goes, gets onto the damp part of the circuit. Well recovered though, and it's only a small setback, but a setback nonetheless for David and Goliath. So just got a wheel onto the wet part of the circuit and spun around. Any more questions that he wants answered by either me or Ben, comment on the feed. I know Radtech are quite active tonight on the feed. Is he watching? Hello to everybody that's watching. We've got 5 people watching at the moment, but it could be more, we don't know. But Ben's kind of left me to do the commentary for a bit, so I'll try and do the best I can, even though I'm still watching over my shoulder as Matt Goodger-Scott continues in our David Goliath machine in P3 at the moment. Hopefully we'll stay there and come away with a podium. and that'll be really good for us too, as we kind of decided on the spot just over Facebook, because asked around and Matt said, yeah, I'll do it. So we set together. We were originally going to be in a Z4 as well, Z4 that you may have seen on Facebook with my excited, slightly drunken face on the side of it. It was golf colours, so it was similar to the Porsche 911 that we're running right now, but it was quite a tragic livery that Ben came up with my face on one side of it. But I quite liked it, to be honest, but I don't think Matt Goodge-Scott did when he saw it. So it's all to their own. And so Peter Wren saying it is a lottery, and yeah, it is pretty much. Who will get into yeah, who's going to get onto these? Oh, he goes again. Oh, we've got to watch out because the car's coming around and just avoids him. So that's Anthony Jordan as Matt Goodge-Scott spins again, and he's got to try and keep it on the dry stuff. This NKL are chasing us down at quite a rate now, so we need to make sure that that gap stays where it is to maintain our podium for this evening. And let's just have a look. Any kind of assisting rules in place? Traction control, ABS, yes, is the question there, Radtech. We have high, low, medium settings for the traction control and stability control. So stability control, really, everybody's running it, even in the wet, they're running it off because it's a bit of a pain in these cars. Other cars not so much. Formula cars it seems to be a bit better with, but for GT cars, touring cars, you really don't want that stability control, and it just makes the car understeer. And then traction control, you can run with it off. I remember doing some testing here last week in dry in the Z4, and I was running it off, but only at the high-speed corners such as Blanchemont and Eau Rouge. But coming down to the bus stop chicane where we're following this Porsche now, I was using low traction control and also for the source. So both second in the dry and first gear corners in the wet. But you could get a bit of wheel spin out of the corners if you really nailed your throttle in first. So try and keep it in second and just limit that wheel spin. Try and make your tyres last a bit longer. It always helps. But ABS we do use, and all the cars have it on, and no one really turns it off because we don't want these crucial lockups, especially on the wet, because you'll just go skidding completely off the road. So ABS, yes, we do have it, mainly because it just feels better. And oh no, and Matt Goodge-Scott spins at the top of Eau Rouge, and that's not good at all. We've got damage now, and bits flying across the track, so that's really not good for us. So I'm just going to go and investigate to see if we have any damage, and if so, it to change that.
Silence there, guys. I have to show you a replay, which is on the back of Fast and Hard. And, this is a replay we need to see. So coming up Eau Rouge, this is Alistair Dendy. Goes up Eau Rouge, gets it very sideways, and just saves it from the barrier. I'll show you a slightly better angle. So coming up Eau Rouge, slightly on the wet stuff. Really sideways, puts the power in and drifts it back onto the circuit, which is an incredible save, and means that team do not have to pit for some more repairs. Meanwhile, with 40 minutes to go, or 39 minutes and 24 seconds, Purple Helmets lead by 31 seconds ahead of Murphy Motorsport. David and Goliath are in third place, and Purple Helmets are in the pits. Let's switch to them. In the pit lane right now. Wonder what they're going to put on with 40 minutes to go. bearing in mind that there might be another rain shower towards the end of the race. This is Murphy Motorsport in their Aston, coming through the bus stop chicane. And Purple Helmet's still sat there, and Murphy Motorsport cross the line and go into the lead of the race. Murphy Motorsport now leading the race. They pitted later than Purple Helmets, so it's going to be very close towards the end whether they have to stop again. I'm going to see if I can find out from Purple Helmets whether they need another stop. Do you know anything, Callum Cripps?
No, I don't. But Purple Helmets have just pitted, so they will be on the slick tyre now, as they were. I think they were on the slicks before, but I think they're on S8, so they're on extremely hard tyre. But we'll try and find out what tyre they're on now. I'm guessing it'll be S7s to run to the end of the race. But they'll also be doing it as a bit of precaution, just to make sure they don't run out of fuel. I think everybody will have to stop again to feel like we could get to the end of the tyres that everybody's on now, but it's just a matter of how much fuel they have. So I know that we'll have to stop again in about 5 laps time or so, also to repair some damage that we had a crash at the top of Eau Rouge that we saw a few laps ago. So as you can see on the live feed here, we've got how many pit stops everybody's done. So the top 3 at the moment, they've all done 3 stops. Schumacher Glodder cheering on the Team Purple Helmets, just come back from Alton Park yesterday, where I was supposed to be, but I couldn't make it because my plucky Peugeot decided that its ignition coil was to fail, literally starting on the way up there, so I had to turn around and head back because it went into safety get you home mode. So but, yes, it was, I'm sure it was pretty horrible weather yesterday, but it's at least it's dry now at Spa. Shamak, how come you're not doing the 3-hour Spa? No, it was all over Facebook. It's, which I don't think we'll have another one before the 24-hour of Interlagos. I'm trying to tempt Ben into one, but it seems that the Shamak thinks he isn't very good at endurance racing, but maybe if he's in the pod for long enough, you normally get used to long stints. But it is hard work. I remember doing a 2-hour stint at the 24-hour of not Interlagos, of Estoril, and it is extreme, especially in the corners. Your back is just it's not very nice, especially if you're Bradley Philpott as well. That's taking it to the extreme. That's a Lee Evans kind of outer body experience. But as we go back to the racing now, and Purple Helmets are now in second place after that pit stop, with Murphy Motorsports leading, as David and Goliath still in P3 after that spin, but we've got some damage now on the left side of the car. NKL 1 and 2 running strong 4th and 5th consistently, and Operation Oversteer now moved up into P7 after being quite low down the order for most of the first 2 hours of the race. So, and Simply Racer now not bottom anymore as well, as Anthony Jordan has clawed it back in the Corvette C7 of Brown Bay Racing, who were going strongly an hour ago, have slipped down the order to last place, but I'm sure they'll still be fighting on. They've just had an 11-minute lap time, so that is I don't know if that's completely true, but from what we can see on the readouts it was, and but now they've clawed it back to a 2-minute 32.7, so they're back on pace now. So everybody seems to be lapping around the 2:33 mark, and the Purple Helmets 3:43 after that pit stop a moment ago, and it is very dark here, Ben. It's very dark, and Ben has found the second microphone.
I found a radio mic.
How great is that?
We can talk.
Fantastic.
There
we go. So
We can just
No,
talk
Ben doesn't.
absolute rubbish now.
Ben doesn't share mics, so
I don't share very now.
no.
Well, it's evident by watching Anthony race around the circuit. I'm not happy sharing a simulator with someone of such low quality.
I don't blame you. I don't blame you, Ben. But as we see, NKL do a 2-minute 27 on that last lap, so that's they're currently the fastest people on the circuit by a good whack as well. That's most people are in the 2:33s that we can see, 2:34s down the bottom end of the field, but a 2:27 by NKL2. That is quite a rapid time for the conditions, and they're definitely on a they are definitely on a charge.
And they're also catching their main rivals NKL1, so their sister team by 5 seconds, 6 seconds an hour. So lots of time. Also catching your team, Callum, by 5 seconds an hour at the moment, and they are on the same lap as you as well.
Yeah, it's going to be interesting to see if those NKL cars can catch us before the end of the race. We have got damage to the left side of the car after a massive spin at Eau Rouge, which could have ended a lot worse, but there was a bits of bodywork flying all over the track, so hopefully that's offline and no one will collect it in the last half an hour of the race.
So I think the race for third place is going to, the race for first and second is going to be pretty close, with Murphy Motorsport definitely having to do one more stop. Purple Helmets potentially got enough to go to the end, but the rain might be coming. And then the race for third between David Goliath, NKL1 and NKL2, all on the same lap. David Goliath currently just about to go into podium, and then probably got about maybe 15 seconds behind NKL1, then NKL2 are just at the start of their laps. They're coming up Eau Rouge now, but they are lapping quicker than both of those teams, in fact 4 or 5 seconds a lap quicker, so that's going to be really interesting to see. I've got a question on your mic.
Oh, my mic's quiet. Maybe I'll just talk closer to it. Let us know if that helps. You've seen that question there, Callum. You answered the question.
I have.
Mr. Cripps, what track would you like to endurance race at?
That's quite a tough one, as there's many, but I'd quite like to do the Abu Dhabi circuit, as that seems to be quite a good one to do. A direct race there?
Do they?
I can't remember. I know they just raced at Mexico, which would be quite cool. I think
Mexico might be quite cool.
If we had
I thought you were interested in Imola.
Imola, yeah. I mean, I've tried around there, and obviously Lewis Manley beat me in Friday Night Unlimited, he didn't beat me after I did a bit of a shortcut. And,
so you're suggesting Mr. Manley was cheating?
No. I completely cheated.
Oh, you cheated?
I cheated, but
okay.
in my mind, I won that race just by a tiny bit of cheating. But I'm getting caught up on that. Just be right back.
Okay, so we'll leave Callum to go and talk to his teammate as we watch the battle for third place. David and I just discussing whether they have enough fuel or not to get to the end of the race. Now, last time round, Murphy Motorsport were 3 seconds slower than Purple Helmets. So Purple Helmets crossing the line now. Again, 28.4. So that gap has now been down to about 46. There we go, 46 seconds between first and second place. So going to have to be a splash and dash for Motorsport. Whether they're just doing fuel or they're going to do tyres as well. I'm just going to wander over to them. Oh no! I've just seen over their shoulders there's been a crash for Murphy Motorsport. Let's get the replay up. They're actually just coming back on the circuit now. They're going to lose a huge amount of time from that. Right, hang on. Let's quickly watch it. So, oh, he's completely off. They've lost a wheel apparently. So coming through the right-hander. Cater gets slightly on the outside, then he gets on the white line and can't slow it down enough, and then they've lost a wheel. So Murphy Motorsport absolutely lost it now, and let's have a look and see if we can see them trying to get back to the pit lane. It's quite a sad sight, really, watching the race leaders go around so slowly. We're any minute now, we're going to see purple helmets. This is on the helmets team. So coming up to race leader time now. Here's our race leaders ahead.
So Anthony Jordan has come back to the commentary box to say he's got 880 seconds worth of damage to do, as we see the Murphy Motorsport car in without its front left on. So I'm just going to go and see how much. Hopefully the mic will the mic go that far? So let's take a wander out and see how many seconds they've got in the pit stop to make. And I'll try and squeeze through the crowd. How much time have they got?
So, ladies and gents,
so they've gone
like
back out without a front left
wheel.
on. So what has happened there?
Properly.
They had a stop-go penalty as well for binning it.
And we're going to retire now.
That hasn't worked at all.
Worth
So they've had a stop-go penalty, which has been 10 seconds, and then they've also got to change the tyre. So I think Ben is going to reset them just to make sure they don't fall down the order too much.
So drama at the
falling down.
Murphy Motorsport garage. They didn't.
So
obviously
this is
repair
good
the car,
news
and
for
now
the
they're,
NKL
can't
and the
get around
David
the track.
Clark.
So
but now we're saying don't reset it. So Adam Cater's a bit upset. I think we were commentating at the same time. What are you doing?
I'm commentating. You know, I didn't know you were commentating over there. So
Well, I was getting full action over there anyway. We work as a team now,
Well,
Anthony
we will,
Jordan, as you're
yes,
officially...
after-
Are you out now?
well, we're out.
Oh,
yeah,
so
We're-
that is... No, Simply Race aren't out. It's just a crying shame.
Oh, Ben's going to get back in, is he?
But Ben's talking about getting back in, so that leaves...
We're
me
definitely
and
coming
Anthony
last
Jordan.
then. Which is rich coming from me.
So thanks to Radtech, who are telling us that Wet don't do Adam. They do Silverstone, Spa, Le Mans, Mexico, Austin and Fuji. So at least someone's got their head screwed on today. And how can you get a penalty for crashing? That is a very point that we don't really know.
Well,
I'll leave that to you, Anthony Jordan.
Yeah, crashing with some of the turns. Sometimes it feels like you may have gained an advantage from it, even though you know you 100% haven't. So the computer that thinks it's always right isn't always right. So yeah, that's pretty much that one. While watching the race, which I'm very glad to be out of the pod, because I'm absolutely horrendous in these conditions and I'm very tired. And it's not like I did hours of practice for this race. I did do hours of practice. I'm just terrible. I can't do these things. But as you can see, most of these teams, they can. They are very good drivers, as we are watching NKL2 making his way up Eau Rouge very nicely there. That is a planted Z4. That is now making its way down the long straight. If we look at our thing, NKL1, I don't know how long ago that was. 2:35, that was quite a while ago. But as we move forward, is there any any close battles. It's pretty spread out. Simpler Race doing very well. 22 minutes, is that? I'm not sure, but that's a big loss. I don't know how far. Yeah, that's 22 minutes, 44 seconds. Or pretty much 22 minutes and 45 seconds. As we can see, the Porsche there having a bit of a spin in the background. So let's have a look at a quick action replay of that. So as we go on board, as you can see, this is what the drivers can see, so not a great deal. As he comes around after this, just goes slightly wide, hits the power and spins the car. Doesn't cause any damage to any wall, but still gets around. But
the NKL car is now overtaken for fourth place now. So both NKL cars move ahead of David and Goliath Porsche as Matt Goodschott keeps on spinning. That's off his fourth spin, I believe. But we just had a pit stop for some fuel. Just a quick splash and dash. It was a 15-second pit stop. So it was quite a quick stop. So we arrived out ahead of the NKL cars that are still on intermediate tyres. As everybody else, I believe, is on slicks. Rambo Racing, I think, maybe on Inters as well, but I'll have to check that. But Murphy Motorsport had a 1,223 second damage stop for their lost tyres, and that is a huge amount of time that they've lost there. So that's not good for Murphy Motorsport. They're moving down the order. They were in second, they're now in fourth, and it says DNF next to their name, but Anthony Jordan is launching them back in, but they have a 5-minute time penalty that will add to the end of their race, as that moves the NKL cars up to second and third respectively. So that is absolute crazy, as they're still on intermediate. As we head into the last 22 minutes of this race, is it going to rain? That is the question at the moment, and I don't think it's looking like it will, but you never know. There's always there's a bit of a haze that comes over the track just before it's about to rain. So maybe we'll spot some of that, as the cars are still pounding round, hitting speeds of up to about 158 miles an hour at the top of the Kemmel Straight before hitting the brakes hard into turns 3 and 4, as the NKL2 car comes down through Purol to around 120 miles an hour, accelerating out. Fourth, fifth gear will be used through there, probably fourth, as it is still damp on the track. But Purple Helmet's now way out in the lead. NKL1 is in second, with NKL2 in third. David and Goliath in P4. And Murphy Motorsport now P5 after their collision with the barriers. It's a 17-minute stop for Murphy Motorsport. Thanks for working that out, Radtech. That's so that 1,223 second pit stop. It's up to 17 minutes. Which could take them to 3 minutes before the end of the race. But Ben, what are you going to do?
Just to clarify, we're going to try and reduce that before the 24 hours. It's a slightly less of a penalty if we do the level of damage is right once the potentially too long.
So there you go. So news from the 24 hour. I think everybody's really looking forward to it. It's going to be a great event after the Estoril 24 hour that we had last November. No, it wasn't last November. November's coming up. The 24 hours coming up in November. I think it was in May. I believe it was in May or March. May or March. It's beginning with an M. A month beginning with an M. So So as we move into the last 20 minutes of this race, Purple Helmets are still out in front, as we see the two BMW NKL cars now right with each other, I believe. And is this going to be a pass from NKL2 to NKL1? and is now right on the back of them. As the just confirming that the 24-hour Interlagos is on the 5th of November, so we're very much looking forward to that. And so NKL2, it's all going wide as NKL2, he hits the barrier and loses his bonnet, as now as NKL1 passes them. And so look at that, you can actually see the engine as they hit the barrier. They got on a bit of the damp part of the circuit, as they do again, and they'll be suffering with damage now as you see the car squirming around under braking, nearly collecting their teammate actually as they come through the fast sweeping corners and coming around the back part of the circuit now. So what's NKL2 going to do? Are they going to pit? As they have sustained quite a lot of damage, I imagine, in that collision, which would promote David and Goliath up to P3 for the meantime. But we'll see how they're doing. They're still maintaining pace, but these two Z4s, they've got to be careful. They are right with each other, the two NKL teams. They've been competitive today, and a bit of a dark horse here, but they've got some really strong drivers. And you see going through Blanchimont, gets a bit wide, and he can't carry the same speed through there with the same damage. So hard on the brakes into the bus stop chicane, just getting it stopped, and they have a bit of a spin, a bit of a half spin really, and nearly collect the Aston Martin behind them, but managed to get away with it with Operation Oversteer. So we'll keep plodding along as we into 17 minutes and 30 seconds left of this 3-hour race at Spa. So reports from NKL2, the car isn't looking in great shape, but they're still soldiering on. But a bit of news for NKL2 as they go up the top of the ridge, hit the barriers, and that is a massive impact, and they will be really damaged now. You see the car crabbing as it goes up the Kemmel Straight. That is really, really bad. So up the top of Eau Rouge and just smacked into the barrier, and that is really not good for the number 2 pod. I don't know what driver was in there. Brandon was in that car, so that's really not good for them, and will promote David and Goliath to P3, which, as long as it doesn't rain, looks like we're going to stay. So hopefully, as long as Matt Goodgescott keeps it on the road, we will get a podium. And this is going, as you see, squirreling under braking. Must be an almighty hit there. I'm surprised the wheel didn't actually fall off, but that will be multiple 100-second stop for that team, and that will probably take them to the end of the race in the pits, probably last possibly 5 to 10 minutes in the pits replacing that car. So that is a real terrible shame for them. There's NKL1 still going strong ahead of them, but that was a great inter-team battle there. Luckily they didn't hit each other. They nearly did a few times. There was a few skirmish moves under the brake from NKL2 after they received that damage from further on in the lap, and as they turned right into Rouge, the car just did not turn and smacked into the barriers. So it's a grave shame for them. So we'll see them drop down the order when they come into the pits very shortly. But I'm just going to peer over Matt Goodgescott's shoulder, who's in David and Goliath, and we are closing down now, so 7 seconds, and it's closing down quite considerably. As long as he can keep it on the road, it's looking like a podium for them, with the car behind us. Muffin Motorsport now 2 laps down and still in the pits after receiving that damage from the lost tyres. We see now the NKL car going really, really deep into the bus stop chicane. Will they be able to get across the track? And so they're not going into the pits. That's very interesting. So they're going to carry on with the damage, and I don't know how they'll be able to do that without. Well, they're definitely going to get overtaken by David and Goliath here. So Matt Goodgescott has now been told about the damage Z4 ahead of him. They come up the top of Eau Rouge, he comes to overtake him down the Kemmel straight, and hopefully the NKL car won't get in the way too much. Shouldn't really defend with the amount of damage that he's had. He's on the wet line, so Matt Goodgescott has to be really careful here passing him, and he lets him go, thankfully. So thanks to NKL2 for that, but he's squirming under brakes, and he'll actually gets it turned in quite well. Actually, turned the car in using the bit of a lock-up at the rear. So it's a good drive for the damaged car from NKL2, and off the podium as it stands. But 30 minutes still on the clock. So, I don't know where Ben Turner has gone, but he's gone somewhere. Their car, the Simply Race car, has, I think, officially retired. It's just sitting in the pit lane. So Ben Turner and Anthony Jordan haven't done that team or car much justice, and I can say really what I want about that, because I'm not employed by Simply Race and they're nowhere to be seen. So just doing the commentary here, even though I'm peering over Matt Goodgescott's shoulder, still making sure that he's going fine, and we're looking for a podium. And it's looking good with 13 minutes to go. So as the clock counts down towards 12 minutes to go, Shomak Wodek has joined us in the commentary box. And Shomak, what do you think about this race so far?
It looks good. Definitely doing it next time. I was planning to do a 24-hour race, but I'm not sure about it. I've only been touring cars, the BMWs. Only started it not long ago. Getting used to the cars. And yeah, looks like a great plan.
Yeah, so you are a regular of our SRTCC meetings that we have every last Sunday of the month, and it's looking good towards the end of the season for a few of the top drivers. I believe Bradley Philpott's up there in the championship, along with Lewis Manley and myself, Callum Cripps.
Yep.
As we're going to the last two rounds. I think the next round is at Donington.
I'm him somewhere.
And Shomak Wodek is around.
I'm in the middle somewhere.
Around the middle somewhere.
Getting used to it.
So
it's good fun. Yeah, it's just fun, isn't it? Not taking it seriously, but yeah, just practicing for next year with the MG Metro guys, obviously.
Yeah, so Shomak is going to be joining the Purple Helmets MG Metro team next year to compete in the MG Metro Cup. That'll be interesting to watch. I'm definitely going to tune in. Definitely going to tune into that as we see Matt Goodgescott getting a slide on. No. As he tries to, hits the barrier with 10 minutes to go, and that's really not good. As he's now dropped down to fourth place, and really needs to get that car going again, and to recover that place. So that is really not good news for us. I'm going to go and have a chat with him and see what on earth that was.
So Callum has just dropped the mic, headed over to his pod, and there are some very choice, angry words being flung at Matt Goodgescott.
Oh, is that his pod?
It is his pod, yeah.
Your teammates doing really well, isn't it?
Yeah, Callum Cripps has returned.
I'm back. Yeah, I had a nice polite word with...
Polite is an understatement.
To encourage him to keep it on the track and make sure that this is obviously a on-tarmac sport. The last 10 minutes of this race.
I don't know about you, Callum, but it looks like your car's crabbing.
No, it's Porsches.
Yeah, it's crabbing.
As Porsches are a bit German, they like a bit of crabbing. It gives them a good feeling inside, and that is...
Is it a warm, fuzzy feeling?
It is well, I won't go into much detail, but it's definitely a good feeling as we are on NKL2, so hopefully we're going to keep on this battle as we go into the last 10 minutes of the race. turning into La Source now. It is crabbing a bit, I must admit, but hopefully as we go up over well, let's watch now. You can see just ahead of them, so it's only 5 or 6 seconds ahead of that damaged NKL2 car. So as he goes over the top of Rouge, he's made it, and just
Bit wide, but
so
yeah, no, he did make it.
So, which is over one of the NKL2 cars. Actually, it might be Honda Racing, and they saw just behind the NKL2 car, so they should be able to get out of the way. But we're going to have to watch these split times carefully to see if David and Goliath and Rich Scott in that car can take P3 back from NKL2. They'll have a very damaged car, possibly more than David and Goliath. So, with 8 minutes to go, I do not think it's going to rain now, as it was 50-50 whether it's going to, but hopefully it looks like we won't have any more rain, and we'll be able to run to the end of this race on the slick tyres. However, I do remember that NKL 1 and 2 are both on intermediate tyres still. They have not used a slick tyre during this race, as we see David and Goliath, Matt Gitchcott going wide at La Source, and that's really not what we want. As we're going to the last 8 minutes of this race, he's really got to start catching on to that NKL2 car and get on the podium.
While talking about other teams, I want to have a quick shout out to Ubarakuda, who's back up into 5th after second, going all the way down into 10th, having a terrible race start, having crashed several times, and now bringing it back up into 5th place. So, and they could get a 4th place if Matt Goodger-Scott's driving doesn't improve. I think Callum Cripps.
He's doing well. He's doing fine. He's doing absolutely fine. Apart from a few slips.
It's just that occasional.
Injury rating is really insane, especially in these conditions where you've got one dry line, and if you don't keep on it, then you're going to end up quite heavily going into the barrier. But who is that ahead? Is that the NKL car? It is. So we are catching that NKL car quite quickly. As let's have a look at the lap times this time around. Last time they were a 2:35 for the NKL car. Let's have a look. Taking across the line now. A 2:33 for David and Goliath with a spin. So that's not too bad, but we're going to have a look at what NKL2 are doing. And we're not getting that information at the moment, but hopefully we will be able to see shortly. But he is closer this time around as they go up towards Eau Rouge once more. And it is flat out in the dry. It's probably a little bit of a lift with the damp curbs. But the time is counting down. There's only 6 minutes left. Can he catch him in time to regain that 3rd place? They will be slower down the straight, and they'll be squiggling under braking. And
Well, I say with the tyres, they're on intermediates, aren't they?
Exactly, they're on intermediates as well. So David and Goliath on slick should be able to catch up as long as he doesn't make another mistake and can pass completely on the road.
No, exactly. But the more time they're on that dry track, the more they're heating those intermediate tyres up, because they're just not right for these sorts of conditions. They're on a dry line. So those tyres will be getting wrecked.
They will, but also down the straights he will be moving over to the damp part of the circuit to try and cool those tyres.
Yeah, no, that is a very good point.
But it's definitely much closer now. And we see down the sort of squitching around from NKL2, and David Goliath is getting closer.
But he is now right behind him, isn't he? So as Callum Cripps goes to now distract his own driver over at the pod, we are watching David and Goliath in the golf-coloured Porsche now making their way into the far section of the track. It looks like they're coming. Where are they? They're now onto the fast part of the track, as it looked like Harambe Racing in the Z4 there. It's like they're having a mistake there, but still moving down. So that gap now incredibly close, down to just 1 second as we're coming into the bus stop chicane now. So again, try to stay on that racing line, because if you run wide, as the NKL car has just done, they are right behind him now. So coming into this very heavy braking zone, try stay on that braking line, or racing line. They get around it both successfully, back onto the start-finish straight. That NKL car is squirreling all over the place, trying to find that grip. So as we come into the first corner hairpin, back on those brakes again, all the way down into first or second gear, depending on how the driver's feeling. Again, now making their way back up all those gears. That Harumba slightly catching these two as well. So, but he is found. He can overtake. There's nothing saying he's not allowed to overtake. But it looks like the Porsche's got a great run there, side by side on the straight. As we go down, the Porsche needs to stay on the line, and he has done. And the Humber racing car out of nowhere is coming down, and he's going side by side. They're almost three abreast into the chicane. And the Humber racing car has come in. There's contact. The NKL car has clipped the Porsche, and the Porsche clouts the wall. He comes back on, and there's more contact. And the Z4, who's now unlapping himself, tries to go around the outside. But so definitely have to watch the racing. But the yellow car that's in between them is actually unlapping itself. And if I'm right, the NKL2 car has every right to flash that BMW out the way to get past. But yeah, Callum Cripps, how are you thinking as your heart rate has gone up through the roof?
Well, yeah, we're now back into P3, so that's good. But that Harumba car did some problems coming up, trying to gain that position back. So that is really damaged on the road. But maybe we will let that Harumba car go. As it's considerably fast, especially down the straight, as we have got some damage. So it's still looking good as we got 2 minutes left, so only another 2 laps in this race to go. Still Purple Helmet's lead on lap 67, good 69 laps I believe will be the final laps.
Yeah, I would as he giggles and runs off. But yeah, no, just 2 minutes remaining. Don't know where the Purple Helmets car is. I don't know how far into the lap, as they're very sideways there, running wide. As is the Corvette behind, but we're not actually driving that. That's someone else driving that now. We technically retired. So Simply Race are completely out of this race. As you can see, we are 14 laps down as it flips the grass. There's the reason why the Simply Race car is still going round, is because I broke their pod. So I'll be honest, I pressed a button which didn't say it was a button, and I broke it. I will happen to that. But we are looking at the Purple Helmets Aston Martin. And I see you have changed the name. No, he hasn't changed the name. We're just on a different pod. So, no. So, we are now looking at our leaders coming into the bus stop chicane with 1 minute remaining. This is going to be their last lap. So, Team Purple Helmets are now on their final lap. So, NKL 1 lap down. Looks like second place is going to be theirs for the taking. We have got David and Goliath in third place. They are apparently only 1.4 seconds behind. Can we see how far away they are? So that's the battle for second and third place we want to look at. So that's NKL 1 there, and third place is just there. How far back can they see them? They can't see them yet, so yeah, we'll have to keep an eye on that and go as the Z4 unlaps itself. And David and Goliath go wide. They hit the barrier. There is damage. The bonnet has come off. So NKL2, I don't know how far behind they are, but they could catch as we're on the last lap. It could be absolutely devastating as Carl Cripps comes over with a very high-pitched voice. He can't believe what's happened, but that gap is not very big. It's just 1 second from NKL2 to David and Goliath for third place. I don't know where we are, but we're on the last lap. I think we need to look at Purple Helmets just to see where they are on the track. So as we move forward, as we can see, the team purple helmets Aston Martin just making its way round the final parts of the course. But we're just going round now into the very fast section. Yes, we are. So only a few more corners to negotiate for the purple helmets Aston Martin, as it makes its way round, staying on that dry line. Hitting the apex beautifully there, making his way now into the bus stop chicane. On those brakes all the way down the gears. Not running wide, and I guarantee that we may see some headlight flashing from the purple assassin as they're getting very sideways. Across the line goes the purple helmets Aston Martin. So a very well done to that team. So second place still currently NKL 1. Some donuts there from the purple helmets Aston Martin. Then we have the heavily damaged David and Goliath golf coloured Porsche in third. NKL2 not that far behind. They've still got half a lap to get round, but NKL1 now also making their way onto the very fast final section of the course. All they really have left to properly negotiate is the bus stop chicane. So again, staying on that dry line, try not to go too wide. Again, hitting that apex, lovely. And coming around into the heavy braking zone of the bus stop chicane, making sure they get it right, which they do perfectly. So around the final corner, and NKL1 are on the start finish straight to take second place. So very well done to that team. So we're back down with David and Goliath, and you can just see the headlights there, not the car, but just the headlights of the NKL2 car. That's how close it is after 3 hours of racing. So the David and Goliath Porsche being currently driven by Matt Goodgescott, who runs wide just for good measure. And there you go, you can see the NKL2 car. That's how close it is, but into the braking zone. And round the final chicane. So David and Goliath taking third position in the golf coloured Porsche, so very well done to that team. And then the NKL2 team coming across the line in fourth place, so very well done as they go sideways over the line for good measure. We could give them a penalty for that, crashing after the checkered flag, but I think we'll let them off. As you can see, Ubarakuda, who has already finished. Then we have Operation Oversteer, who have also finished as well. And I believe the only car that's left to finish is finished already. Simply Race, but I don't think they're crossing the line. So thank you very much, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us this evening. If you have been watching all the way through the stream, we really do appreciate it. So if you are watching on YouTube, please like the video and subscribe to more videos. We do live stream most events. We have our SRTCC Championships, also any live races like this, and of course the 24-hour endurance race on the 5th of November this year that is being commentated by the Downforce Radio guys. So we hope to see you for the stream then. So thank you very much again, ladies and gentlemen, for joining us, and have a good night.